And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the PiGosaur Cup. PiGosaur Cup number 42. It's been a couple of weeks, as of course we did take a last week off due to EWC, but now we're here. Now we have returned with your weekly dose of PiGosaur action. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves. I'm of course just like VIP, and I'm joined by these amazing players, by the who in chat and by my plushies as well. Welcome. We are jumping in our first series of the broadcast, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of ley lines, we have the American Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Platinum Heroes / Esports. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the American Zerg player. We have the purple Zerg. It is Falling Ninja. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of three. When it comes to the bracket itself, we'll be going over it after this series, so don't you worry, we will get into it. For the time being, though, we have our initial Terran versus Zerg matchup. As always, when it comes to these online tournaments, we gotta embrace the Zergs while we can. Yeah, while we can. But as we have our initial hatch full. Interesting. We do have a gasless opener here out of our Zerg player. We'll see what this leads into. Typically at the pro level, if we ever have something like a gasless opener, this leads into roach-based play where we skip link speed, we get into roaches into the early game, and we are hyper greedy by cutting corners. We'll see if that's going to be the case here for Falling Ninja, as he is more of an amateur player. I will say that. He is more of an amateur player, so as a heads up, there is going to be a bit of a skill difference between the two players, but we'll see how he does compare. We'll see how he can hold his own. Meanwhile, immediately though back at home, oh my god, going racks into factory on one base as well. Okay. okay, I see you. Interesting. Is also going to be setting on one base. Might be a little bit concerned as to what his opponent's up to. We can see just pure droning here out of Falling Ninja. We do have our queens on the way. Reaper is moving out across the map as we speak, and we'll see what this Reaper can get done. Remember, no links. There are no Zerglings to defend. It's only going to be queens, so the Reapers have potential to potentially get some damage done and get into the mineral lines. Likewise, we have still yet to expand. There we go, CC on low ground, but a delayed CC out of Vindicta. Delayed. Ming's just keeping an eye on the third base. Doesn't go into the bases, so far Falling Ninja, he's getting away with a lot of greed here. As you mentioned, again, no gases whatsoever. Is getting fully saturated on two bases, building up extra queens. We should soon be seeing those gases and soon be seeing that kind of tech in towards roaches, but until then, Falling Ninja is getting away with it. That does so far. Don't speak too soon. As Reaper Hellion does poke in towards the natural, getting into the queen. Queen is going to be targeted down, and there's no transfuse. The second queen does come down. Oh, it does move down to low ground. Does move down. The one queen is going to. Oh, it's going to hold its own. Takes down the Hellion. Okay. Takes down the Hellion. Nice snipe on the queen. And from here, Vindicta does pull away. Does pull back, does pull away. We have Cloak on the horizon here, but remember, with the faster factory, we had to have additional Hellion production, so we're going into Hellion Banshee. And again, the question becomes, can he punish the greed of Falling Ninja? Because there we go, gases are being taken. There is that Roach one that we spoke about. He's almost there. He needs a little bit more time as Hellions, oh, they do rush in. They get past the queens. This is the dangerous thing about skipping your links or skipping link speed is these dives. These dives here into the mineral lines. More drones going to be falling. 7, 8, 9, 10 drones getting roasted. Oh god, this is getting out of hand. 11 drone kills. That was only 2 Hellions, by the way. 2 Hellions and 1 Reaper, and we are still not done. More Hellions are amassing. We have Banshee or Cloak on the way. Banshees as well. Getting to earlier stim. This feels like a little bit of a messy opener here by Vindicta, but I mean it's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more assertive, and it's worth it. Like, he's finding damage. He is finding damage. Meanwhile, we're the roaches. Where are the roaches here? Fully Ninja, he is droning, he's making queens, still no roaches, still no units to defend. And here comes the second wave. The second wave of Hellion. Okay, roach production has begun. Megacy can go for another dive. He can and he will. Oh, the drones are lining up. Oh no, they do line up, but they're getting roasted once again. Okay, massive Elise going up. Likewise does get into the mineral line. Drone's going to be going down. Are going to be falling. It's going to be 5 drone kills, not as many as previously, thankfully. Oh, no spore. Oh god, no spore crawler, no detection, no lair. And that's going to be critical damage. Unfortunately, no, I didn't even notice myself, but yeah, there was no lair here for Fully Ninja, no safety spore crawlers. I mean, there's 1 spore at the 3rd. There's 1 safe haven here for these drones. That's only 1 expansion. And there's going to be no mining. No mining in the main base, no mining at the natural either. Drones are going down, and this is critical damage. This is game-ending damage here. Again, Fully Ninja, he attempted to get away with his greed, but GG gets called, and Vindicta will take game number 1. GG. GG will play. They will take a lead in the series. What I will say though is that I was actually quite impressed by Fully Ninja's build. Like, the build overall made sense. The build overall, it is cohesive. It was looking to come together as well. Unfortunately, you know, he did fall apart at the seams, and we saw him take critical damage from the Hellion run-bys and for the Hellion aggression. Likewise, spores did fall by the wayside. He did forget them, and likewise, he was unable to get any detection ready as he had no lair. So definitely some chinks in the armor for sure. Some chinks in the armor, but overall was torn apart. But again, like, it's a build that makes sense and that we do see at the highest level play as well. It's just really difficult to get away with. It's really greedy. A reason or a way to defend early on and a way to deal with those Hellions, especially because you're skipping link speed, is to have SimCity, is to have a wall at your natural. I'm referring to like your Roach Warren, your Evo Chamber, your Queens as well. They should be in position to wall up that natural, to be able to stop and deter those Hellion run-bys. Just because you don't have link speed, just because you're cutting corners, you're skipping army units as well, so it can be very difficult to try to deal with Hellion run-bys without SimCity, without those walls. Even players like herO have been torn apart by Clem with that same style, where Clem is just diving into mineral lines with his Hellions, forcing his way in, just taking advantage of the fact that herO has so little to work with that early on. GG. GG well played. With that, Vindicta does take a lead in the series. Now we're getting game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Pretty sure it was in Dallas. Yeah, Fully Ninja, who's in Dallas. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ducklings, we have the American Terran player. We have the American Terran, we have the Blue Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes / Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Vindicta. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the purple Zerg player. We have the American Zerg down in the series, and we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. Let's go. It is Fully Ninja. Go. But again, already impressed by game 1, and we'll see if he goes for the same kind of build here in game number 2. We'll see if once again he does go for full verse this time. But we'll see once again he does go for a gasless opener, but we'll see if he can get away with it this time. As we mentioned, like the biggest issue with these gasless openers is being able to survive the Hellion aggression early on. And again, as we were emphasizing, SimCity is a way to do that, is a way to try to do that, I should emphasize as well. Again, winding it back, like Clem and some of these other top Terran players, a way to try to deviate that is when you move in with your Hellions, you still have your Reapers alive to KDA charge and knock Queens out of the way and still force your way into bases, and try to punish the Zerg. We'll see. For now, we do have our initial racks back at home. SV scout across the map. And this time we're going for an earlier gas. Okay, so it's going to be pull a hatch into gas. A different variation of build this time by Fully Ninja, as he will actually get a much faster gas geyser. Okay, you have my attention. Go. gases are being taken. Didn't win a map. Still better than the average Twitch at GM. True, true. Unironically. Fully Ninja is probably better than most, if not all, people in the chat. This is a given. As from here, we're joining. Gonna be joining, gonna be saturating. Gonna be building up. And we'll see what the gas is going to be spent on here. I'm assuming getting into link speed, but we'll see if we go for anything quirky here. Meanwhile, this time we do go for the factory after the CC. So game 1, if you remember, Vindicta was being very safe, going for the factory first before command center. Here, going for something more standard. I mean, hey, we're loading into Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool. So going for a more standard build makes more sense here from the side of Vindicta. Oh, going into a 1-1-1. Much more aggressive follow-up. Once again, that's going to be a starport before third command center. That means a faster Banshees. That means a more committed play here on 2 bases. Vindicta is going to be assertive. Is going to be aggressive. Meanwhile, Fully Ninja, he's banking gas. Last game, intentionally, he was skipping and avoiding his gas geysers. Here, he's banked up to 200. That's a lot of gas here for Fully Ninja and no link speed. The real question becomes, what are we spending this gas on? My assumption here is waiting for the queens to finish. My assumption is we're going to wait for the queens to finish and we're going for a lair. And the reason why we haven't spent our gas is because of the queen production. But we'll see if the lair is going to be prioritized. Meanwhile, we have what looks to be a Hellbat Marauder push. Oh boy, we have Marauders on the way. We have Concussive Shell. We assume Hellbat, there it is. Armory has been thrown down, so we have a Hellbat push out of Vindicta. This is going to hit quite hard. Meanwhile, I had assumed that it was going to be for a faster lair. It is still going to be Roach production, but this is going to be earlier Roaches. This can actually work really well. First things first, already we have SimCity. This is already a better setup than last game. We have the Roach Horn, we have the Eva Chamber, double Eva Chamber. The Queens are walling up as well, so a very nice setup here by Fully Ninja on the low ground. But does he get the Roaches in time? Is this Roach Horn too late? It feels late. It feels like a late Warren out of Fully Ninja. The Hellions are amassing, the Armory is almost done, and Migs, he's soon going to send everything across the map. Yeah, we're still waiting for the... There we go. Does load up those Marauders. He will soon move out. Soon move out. So he's moving in. Black Red's going for the queen. Where the Roaches, we have 9 Roaches in production, but the first queen is going to get surrounded. Yeah, the first queen does go down. It gets 1. Now going for the other queen as well. Gets 1. 2 queens do fall. Oh, Jesus. There's not enough room for the Hellbats. They're too thick, baby. They're too thick. Roach 1 does fall, though. Roaches are popping out, which would be ideal in this position, but just not enough. Not enough, not in time. Does break through the wall, does burn through the Roaches. GG gets called, and Vindicta, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Honestly, I was really enjoying the overall build here of Fully Ninja that it was going for, especially against something like a Hellbat push. Unfortunately, the Roach one was a little bit later, and the Roach production was a little bit delayed as well. If that was a little bit crisper here, then he would have had Roaches in time to defend. And against a Hellbat push, that would have been ideal. Just needed a little bit more time. Just needed to tighten up his build a little bit more here. I should also emphasize that it's not like he was aware of what Vindicta was going for. He didn't scout the armory, he didn't scout the Hellbat push coming. It was kind of blindly opening up. So it was working with incomplete information, and GG. GG, well played. With that, Vindicta, he will claim the series. He will advance on to the next round. And now we can take a moment to have a look at the bracket to figure out where we are and where we are headed. Let's go. Let us go. As we do have the rest of our bracket, we do have some updates here to catch up on. Just commenting that Vindicta hasn't been to an offline tournament in over a year. Okay. That doesn't mean anything, but sure. So where's Pig? If Pig isn't here, then you can assume that you can make the assumption that Pig, he's most likely spending time with his family. Just to reiterate, and we're probably going to say this a couple of times throughout the next couple of weeks, but Pig el Chanchito, he's now papi. He's now papi. Does have a beautiful boy called Theo, and again, that was the reason why Pig did not go to EWC last week, just because, of course, you know, he had to look after his family, had to be there for the birth of his child, even as well. So make the assumption that if there's ever a week where there's no Pig at PiGosaur Cup, there's usually something else occurring where he would have to spend time with his family. So make that assumption. Whether it's Pig missing out on PiGosaur Cup or Pig missing out on like a typical daily stream, you can make that assumption. Almost 2:30 a.m. Oh, get some sleep. You get some sleep. Get some sleep, Einstein. Take care. Had no idea. Yeah, exciting stuff, exciting stuff. We have more pappies in the scene. Ah. Winker. But oh, one moment here as we are getting ready for our next series. Vitas are done. We have our next matchup. Beautiful. Okay, from the top, we have herO. herO, he is the #1 seed of the tournament. He is going to be faced up against Prome in the next round as Prome takes down Patches. Meanwhile, we have Mute. Mute is up against Luna C. We have Jumy. Jumy, he's waiting for the winner of Sig and Altair, I believe. Altair. We have Seamus, who I believe is, I know who that is. That's, I think that's Daryl, if I remember correctly. The previous Protoss player. Meanwhile, we have Seamus up against Ragnar. We have ByuN waiting for the winner of Belmioja and Teardrop. We have Farmy waiting for the winner of Rebellion and Mucus. We have Percival up against Luna C. Sorry, Percival up against Luciano. And we have Nicoract versus Vindicta. So for the most part, the round of 32 is wrapping up and we're getting into the round of 16. And here we go. We're jumping into our second series of the broadcast this morning. In the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Nicoract. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player, himself, the American Terran, representing Platinum Esports. It is Vindicta. Go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamma time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do settle on in. So you are going to be moving out. So far, we have our double gas opener out of Vindicta, double gas opener out of Nicoract. Now, when it comes to our setup, when it comes to our match coming into this, this is going to be quite a close one. I think we can lean towards Nicoract in the sense of being the slightly favored player, but I can see a world where Vindicta can claim the series here. Vindicta, of course, nowadays, he is part-time. He's a part-time player. He got a full-time job. He does stream. That is true. He streams for fun, but he's no longer competing or committing anywhere near as much time as he did in the past. So Vindicta, he is a little bit more casual in the sense of how he approaches StarCraft. I mean, that can benefit him. Like, hey, we saw Thermal. He's been making a lot of content. He hasn't been competing, but he had a crazy performance at Home Story Cup, for example. So, like, again, he still is a force to be reckoned with here. We'll see if he can bring it to Nicoract. Let's go. As for the time being, again, because of the double gas, Faster Factory is going for the late CCs. CC's now going to be on the way on the natural base. Buenas noches, papi. Buenas noches. Ice. I can't believe Pig would want to hang out with his newborn and not cast SC2. Crazy, papi, crazy. yeah, a lot of figures, I would say, in StarCraft now slowly forming their families. You know, we have Dark, of course, infamously. We have Trap as well, right? Trap. He also retired this year because now he has, I think, a daughter. I think he also has a daughter. I'm not too certain, but also he's a papi. Pig. Jaime, of course, led the charge. That's still the most crazy one. That was still, I loved that one with Jaime announcing that he's gonna have a son. Jaime. Another. We are gonna be pushing in. Nice mind shot here out of Vindicta. Takes down the first Hellion. Does take him down despite that. Nicoract trying to force his way through. Does go for the Reapers. Does go for the Reapers, does bully back Vindicta, breaks through that front line. Boys, they come in for the surround. Cute move there by Vindicta, hiding the workers in that CC, but despite that, the Reapers are overwhelmed. Yeah, they take down all the Reapers, take down all the Hellions, and with that, Nicoract, he can micro his harder, he can focus on his CVs, and this is getting out of hand. Once again, I love that Vindicta, he's making use of that CC, hiding his workers, does preserve them, does keep them alive, but the army is not there. He needs more time for the Cyclone, and SCVs are going down. Mining is being denied behind this, and Nicoract, he is freely mining from his natural. He has mules, of course, as well, so he will have the greater economy. Does have that economic lead. And so far, a strong start for Nicoract. He's up to SCVs. He's up to workers, and of course, he's been mining this entire time. He has extra mules, so he does have a nice lead, and he's not done. He's moving out. He's moving out with this drop play. You have 4 Marines, a Cyclone, and of course, the Reapers that can also jump into the main. He is ready, though. He's in position. Despite that, bleeds out 1, bleeds out 2 Marines. I just remember Bob De Nino. yes, that's the one line that I remember. Oh no. Bob De Nino. His chat was savage. It's crazy. From here, Nicoract, he's going to be setting up back at home. And honestly, he had a good start. Running it back here as he is going to be deflected. Nicoract, he bled out Reaper Hellion, which does not scale well into a longer game anyway. He was able to get worker damage, able to deny mining time as well, able to pick away at the Marines. So a slightly better start. This isn't game ending damage by any means, but in a mirror matchup, every little bit counts. Every little bit does count, so Nicoract does find himself with the lead. It's going to be up to Vindicta to recover. And you can do so in TVT. I mean, it's heavily based on positional play, so you can outposition your opponent. You can go for drop play, you can be the first to siege, you can first to get volleys off as well. So there are going to be a lot more avenues here, a lot more comeback potential available to Vindicta, but it's on him to make that happen. It's on Vindicta. Scan reveals a 2-1-1, soon to be 3-1-1 setup. No mech. Thankfully, third TC is halfway done for Nicoract. Meanwhile, third TC just now beginning for Vindicta. Again, he's 1 step behind, and a lot of that is because of the economic disadvantage as well. So he's slightly behind when it comes to eBays and upgrades, slightly behind when it comes to his third TC, and behind when it comes to his second and third racks as well. And here comes Nicoract. He's got 3 tanks, got his mass buyer. So ready to move out. He does push him between the bases. The Ravens can help defend. True, that's the one advantage that Vindicta has, is triple Raven. Nicoract, he has none. So Migs he can disable. He's pushing forward. He wants that first tank. And he will get within range. Here comes the stim. Oh! Yeah, does stim in. So far, he's going to be deterred. Tank is picked off. So a better fight for Vindicta. Does get the tank still holding onto that energy. But behind this, Nicoract gets a third. He was posturing, he was containing, and he gets a third base. Third base is getting up and running, so still enjoying that greater economy. And now he's getting further ahead. Earlier, it was a slight economic lead, but now he has a full base mining over his opponent. Double jump here to the natural. Migs trying to keep up. Likewise, the Raven does barely get away, so he does defend. Honestly, a better cleanup here from Vindicta. This was, what, 3 full medevacs full of units. Sorry, 2 full medevacs full of units. Going to be going down at the same time. Nicoract does try to force his way in, and he takes down the tanks. Tanks are going down. Now getting within range of the gas geysers, and Migs is just getting bullied further and further back. It's getting forced back. Tanks building up. Close to be going up. Up. Likewise, doesn't say what the tanks say on siege in time, so quick moves there. The Nicoract saves the tanks. Liberation has arrived, and again, he will eventually break out of this. But by then, is it going to be too late? Mage army in. He's up with the Marines. The Ravens out of energy. But Liberators, they will bully this back. And again, Vindicta, he will break out, he can eventually expand, but by then, Nicoract, he should have a 4th. As Nicoract still rallying forward. Still rallying across. Okay, there we go. Now he's forced back. Now Vindicta can expand. And Migs, he has to play it slow at this point. He has no drop play either, right? He's going into Mass Viking. He has Mass Viking, Liberator. He has no medevacs. He has no drop potential. He's reliant on these big head-on fights. On this air control as well, which can work. As Migs, he will overwhelm Nicoract. He should not be here. Yeah, the Marines, they stim on in. Orders hearts as well. Tanks are going to be going down. And Nicoract, he does overextend. He will lose 1, 2, 3, and lose almost everything. Oh my god. Again, Nicoract, he just got a little bit too cavalier. He should not have taken that fight. He did not have the Marines to sustain his army, to support his army. And Vindicta does hold. Again, better fights for Vindicta, which he's been needing to pull off. Meanwhile, does establish his 3rd base. Nicoract, thankfully, behind this is getting a 4th CC, so he's still going to be up in expansion. But again, Nicoract, he got too excited. He got a little bit too excited there. Has to pull back. He now no longer, I believe he no longer has the tank lead. Yeah, he no longer has the tank lead. So Migs is up in tanks. Meanwhile, Nicoract, he does have the buyer, right? He has the Marine count in his favor. We have Vikings in position to deny drops. Speaking of, does boost in. Oh no! Does boost in is going to be denied. Thankfully, Nicoract does pull back in time. Meanwhile, the main army rotating on the right hand side. Nicoract denying minus time, not bad. Does get across the map. He's slowly building up. Again, slowly just defending. Like, Nicoract, it's on him to camp. It's just on him to camp, to turtle up, and to max out. He's down 30 supply, but he's slowly catching up. Yeah, it's still a lot of Marines. Does have a lot of dive potential. But once again, Nicoract, he should not be pushing into these bases. Like, there's no need. There's no need to push in. Not like this. Looking for an opening. I will say that the natural's looking a lot weaker. There's only 1 tank. There's only 1 tank really covering the natural. Depending on the angle. Nicoract, he rotates. He scans. Liberator's still being annoying, but it's finally going to go down. Liberator does fall. Nicoract trying to get into his own Viking production, but again, he's just so far behind in the Viking count specifically. So he's got some catching up to do. Nicoract does pivot out on the right hand side, looking for a fourth expansion. Looking for a way in. Both armies are now maxed out. Vindicta here successfully turtled up until he's maxed. Baiting the army in. Oh, good. Does bait him in. And yeah, Nicoract, he should not be here. Massive stable once again. A really rough fight. There was no need to push in, papi. Ay. CranKy gets reset. Vindicta does dominate that fight. Do see a ByuN army here on the right hand side, looking for another way in. And I would say now is the time for Nicoract to push out. Like, that was the fight he was waiting for. He resets the tank count. Now would be the time to push, as he's giving Nicoract time to recover. But it does feel like Vindicta, he's more concerned with just expanding, getting another CC. I do think there was counterattack potential there. I still think there is. As Nicoract, he's down to 3 tanks. He only has 3 tanks. But I guess the Mass Marine is threatening Vindicta. If Vindicta were to push, I think the best chance for Nicoract is force a base trade, and for him to just stim into the bases and try to go for the natural, go for the third. So maybe Vindicta is a little bit concerned about that. On top of that, he might believe that, hey, Nicoract has taken 2 bad fights in a row, maybe it'll just happen again, and maybe there's no rush for Vindicta. As he's getting to his 3-3 upgrades. Nicoract does rotate. Migs, he's late to respond. And this time he is late. Tanks are exposed. Getting 1 tank. Just the one though. And Migs, he should take this fight. Did lose a tank and a Liberator. So did lose a couple of key units, but overall, like, Nicoract, he's still just kind of aping into the army. Now behind this is going for triple starport. He's going into triple. He's going up to quintuple. There's going to be 5 star. You can see them all here on screen. There's going to be 5 starports here setting up for Nicoract. With this, he can go into Mass Viking. He can go into either Mass Liberator or BC production. With all these tech labs, he has potential, but it's going to be a Raven. So he's going Mass Raven. But again, like right now, Nicoract, he's at his weakest. Right now, he's vulnerable. And Vindicta, he's just been turtling. He's just been turtling up back at home. I do think he has potential. He can be aggressive. He can be active. We can move out. We don't have to stay at home. And the act of staying at home is allowing Nicoract to do this, to get into all these Ravens, to research these upgrades, and to go for that tech switch. Nicoract has been given a lot of time. And Migs, he's none the wiser. He's getting into his own Mass Raven. He does fan out. Get a kill. Jesus. It's a kill, not a cancel. And again, Migs, he's still just turtling. which I think was necessary earlier. I should emphasize this as well. Like, what Migs has been doing here wasn't necessary for the first, like, 12 minutes of the game. But in recent times, I would say that there should have been a little bit more urgency here for Migs to actually break out and be active on the map. Because I believe BCs have been accumulating. Yeah, we're slowly building up BCs, right? This is like the kill move, the win condition for Nicoract. is to buy enough time for BC production. SUV is going to be thrown away. Marines being thrown away as well. Again, we're just freeing up supply here for more battle cruisers, more of an air army. And Nicoract, he's finally refining his forces, getting into that more ideal late game. Vindicta is not. Migs, he does have Mass Viking Raven already, but I'm still not fully convinced here. So Migs, he's got 12 Vikings. He's down in Vikings. Already, he's down in Vikings. He has more Ravens, which will help, but he could do with throwing away Marines and getting more Vikings. So he does have a lot of Marines. Migs is finally being active, at least somewhat. There we go, there's the Unsiege. Now he's finally pushing. Scan doesn't see much. He's trying to scan, trying to get what's going on. Mass Viking coming in. Oh, the Ravens! One Raven does not go down, barely not. There we go, going for Mass Autotars, goes for the Master Table as well. The spells so far are solid, and the Marines, they stim in. Yeah, they stim in. It brings out every single tank. What about the Vikings? I mean, there's not enough anti-ground, but there are BCs. Yeah, the battle cruisers are coming in. GG gets called. Vindicta, he does break through. He does dominate the fight, and Vindicta will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. I was worried he was taking too long. I was worried he was taking too long, that he was giving Nicoract the time he needed to build up those BCs, but no, he did hit just at the right moment. I say just at the right moment because of his superior Raven count. He was able to disable all the BCs, disable all the tanks, or anti-arm missile the Vikings, and throw down the Autotarts. The Ravens did so much. The Ravens were the MVPs there, and with that, Vindicta does overwhelm. GG. Vindicta takes game number 1. And a really impressive performance here by Vindicta to come back from behind. Vindicta did have a really rough start. He had a worse start. He was in a worse position. He was down in workers, down in economy, down in army. Like he was pinned against the wall. But as we were trying to emphasize, Nicoract with his lead, what did he do with it? He was overly aggressive, and he took some really, really rough fights. He took like two worst fights in a row, where he lost all of his tanks, he lost all of his Marines. He didn't have to engage in such a way, and it allowed Vindicta to turtle, to recover, to build back up, and to eventually max out. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylines, we have the red Terran player, with red Terran himself representing Platinum Heroes. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player. With the blue Terran, you have the American Terran representing Platinum Esports. It is Vindicta. We go. Just catching up in the chat. They get you in the chat as well. But yeah, it makes he had a really impressive performance. And again, he was taking better fights, he was taking better engagements. He was able to build up into a better army sooner as well. And we'll see how Nicoract will adjust his approach. Will he be more aggressive? Will he be more aggressive and try to end the game earlier and press his advantage? Or is he going to be a little more macro-oriented, where he takes his lead and then he takes his expansion, then he starts to tech up a little bit better and takes a bit of a slower approach to the game to build up into that Sky Terran a lot sooner. But now, as the Visa moving out, we do have our double gas open out of Vindicta. Once again, double gas out of Nicoract. Opening up double gas, going for faster factories. So far we've seen Nicoract does get the initial SCV. Does get one. Here pulls away. Does save his Reaper just barely. Behind this we do have a reinforcing Reaper coming in as well. I mean, I should say that for both players. And Migs, he does take this fight. He does force back Nicoract. He's forced back. Has to back off. Behind this, getting to their own 1-1-1s. We do have mirrored builds in general here, even though Vindicta was taking that fight. Nicoract did kill the SCV, so it was a slight lead here for Nicoract. Nicoract does have the slight edge, and it's going to be on Vindicta to recover. On Miguelito. Also, do apologize, but it is very cold here. It's very cold, so I'm just trying to warm up. It's winter in Australia. It's a cold morning. Oh. As Nicoract once again trying to force his way up the ramp, but Vindicta, he will take the fight. And he will clean up. Yeah, we'll clean this up. Nice control, does step forward. Heli volleys going off. And Vindicta does have the better trade. Este Miguelito. Pulling back once again, going into Ravens. We do see that this time Nicoract doing the same. If you recall, last game he avoided Raven production for quite some time until the late game, but here is opening up with Raven a lot sooner. Does open up a lot sooner. As we're building into the same direction. A lot of this will come down to the unit control, will come down to the engagement. Like who's able to move in first, who's able to get the disables off first. The positioning of the tanks, the positioning of the Cyclones even. There's a chance that maybe Migs, he can maybe pick off the Raven. Should be crazy, but he's poking in. Works out. See Migs flirting with the idea of catching any of these stray units. I'm loving the repositioning of this tank. Nicoract pushing forward. Bait him in! Oh no! Yeah, it does bait him, does take down one of the Cyclones. And he wants the other, he will get it as well. Better trade here for Nicoract. Baits in Vindicta, takes on both Cyclones. And this third CC is halfway done for Nicoract. And Migs beating out a Hellion as well. These have been some rough trades here for Vindicta. Oh, and he spots the move out. Okay. He does what he has to make a choice. Does he attack? Does he defend? Where are we going? As Nicoract has no idea. He has no idea. They will run into each other. Ooh. Yeah, Migs, he gets caught out. And this is too much. He's losing far too much here. Forced around auto turrets. He has to get out. Oh god. The tank does fall. And Migs, he's hurting. He's hurting so much here. He's racing back home, forced to spend, forced to waste his energy. Now he did actually preserve a little bit of energy on those Ravens. But it's still a much stronger fight for Nicoract. Now unfortunately he has no disables left. He has no interference matrix. So he cannot break through this position. But he gains map control. And we've been here before. He gains map control, now he gets a faster third base. Nicoract, does he try to force his way in or does he play it slow? Snipes. Oh, they do trade Vikings. And I like this here for Nicoract, he backs off. he backs the hell off. Remember last time Nicoract had a lead and then he threw that, he lost that lead. So he was overly aggressive. So we just gotta calm down. Just gotta calm down. Take it slow. Focus on containing the Terran. Makes, I mean, he does kind of win the battle in the sky, I suppose. Oh no, we do have the unsiege in time. Yeah, Nicoract, he does get away. Saves his tanks. And clutch moves there from Nicoract. That was a waste of 2 disables. Every disable counts. We need to slowly claiming his third. Go double drop into the main. Mix, he's not in position to stop this. He's not in position. Distracted by the main army. Here comes the double drop into the main. Does drop in. From here he does catch a couple of SCVs. 1, 2, 3 SCV kills. Dives further in. They're trying to make a stand. But mining is being denied. He will clean this up. Losing 4 SCVs in the process. Nicoract rotating over, looking for a way in. Does disable the tanks. And Mix, he shouldn't be able to hold on here. Yeah, forced to lift. Oof. He can maybe up to land his Viking. Oh, no, not even. No, we're just rallying. We're just rallying across the map. Nicoract denying the third. Stimming into tank fire, but 2 of the tanks are unsieged. Well, the cleanest trade here from Nicoract, but not bad. Gets 2 tanks. Takes on 2 tanks, 4th CC is on the way. And this is the Hail Mary play here for Vindicta. He sends all of his Marines across the map. With this run by, I was going to say, if there's no planetary, he can kill this CC and deny mining. With the planetary, these Marines, they can't do much. Not to this base. No with repairs. Okay, he stims in. Yep, he sees a planetary. He has to avoid it. He runs into reinforcements. Oof. And Nicoract will take this fight. GG gets called. Nicoract ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We're going to game 3, and I did like this Nicoract a lot more. This time he took a lead, he got ahead, and this time Nicoract, he did not force the issue, did not force these fights, did not try to force his way into the natural. He was a little bit more conservative with his approach. He was backing off, he was giving Vindicta a little bit more room to breathe and not being as assertive to be able to catch him out at the third base, dropping into the main as well. With that, he was able to take it. Let's go. With that, he's able to tie up the series. Now we're going into the ace match. Okay. Getting into the ace match here. Going to be loading into Maganatha. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, the rest of the bracket is progressing. So, well, Jesus, we're the we are in the TVT section of the bracket. So, we got some catching up to do. For sure. For now, we are finding ourselves in the ace match here of the round of 16. Again, we know what to jump into, Pappy. We know. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran for the Platinum Heroes. Tying up the series 1-1, it is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran, the American Terran, representing Planet Esports. It is Vindicta. Here we go. So we're calming down as we are settling in. Here we go, as we do have our initial double gas. So double gas opener here out of Vindicta, likewise double gas at Nicoract. Once again mirrored builds, and welcome on all to Maganatha. Maganatha is the largest map in the map pool. If we were to slow the game down and end up in a longer macro game, this is where we could see that, and I do feel like Vindicta probably is favored in that kind of scenario. If he can slow the game down, if he can max out, if he can camp and turtle, then he will be at the advantage. I mean, at least based on what we've seen in game 1. I'm sure Migs, wants to get there again. We'll see if he can. Let's give him a maxed out army. I will say that it will be a little bit more difficult because even though, yes, the map is large, that also works against a defending player, specifically the 3rd base, the 4th base, the 5th base as well. As you can see, they're very spread out. So you spread yourself very thin defending your 5-base setup here on Maganatha. So as a result, it can be difficult to actually keep up with army rotations, keep up with drop play, keep up with multi-pronged aggression and harassment. If we get there. If we get to that late game. So from here we do have our 1-1-1 from both sides. And we'll see how aggressive we're going to be as we do commit here into additional Reaper Hellion. Likewise, Vindicta also going into Reactor Reaper Hellion as well. So it's building up his own army count. Last game we saw Vindicta take the better fight. We'll see if we can do it again. As Nicoract is going into earlier Cyclone production. Just try to move in. Nice control. Pulls back the Reaper. Does pull back one. SCV goes down. Denies some mining time. As Migs, he will claim this fight, he will overwhelm. Once again, he shuts down Nicoract. Nicoract, he did kill an SCV, he did deny a little bit of mining, he did delay the CC, he did delay the orbital, but he will lose the army. He'll lose the army, now it's time to counterattack. Migs, it's on him here to try to punish. Where we have one Cyclone to defend, and one Cyclone's not going to be enough, he can focus it down, and Nicoract, he has to evacuate. He has to just evacuate, abandon the natural. Good reaction, good response. He pulls away, otherwise that would have been, what, 6 SCVs going down. Reapers, they bust into the bases, they take down the Marines, but doesn't keep going. Oof. Now Loken is brutal. Cyclone defense. That's still going to be 2 SCV kills and denied mining time, so still some okay damage here from Vindicta, but I'm sure he was hoping for a little bit more. From here he pulls away. Oh, but God damn it. I didn't bring it up. We've been avoiding mech so far this series, but only for so long, as we have Macville accelerators on the way. Nicoract, he's going to be getting here into additional Cyclones. Let's pick up here from Vindicta. Does get a Cyclone. Does catch one. Still rallying in. Disables already. He can disable that Cyclone. He can, and he goes for the auto turret. Oh, he breaks through the Marines. Yeah, breaks through every Marine. SCV is going to be going down as well. Nicoract, he is in danger here. Does get the lock on. They'll snipe the Cyclone. That's still 4 SCV kills at the same time across the map. Banshee does get into the main. Ooh, did get into the main. 2 more SCVs as well. Again, both players are trading. We're getting a little bit messy. Migs, he has not seen the main base. Behind this, we're getting into not just Banshee, we're getting into Hyperfire Rotors. So we're going into Battle Mech with Banshee support, which means we're not stopping Banshee production. More Banshees are rallying across the map. And we'll see if Migs can keep up. This Banshee's making his way in. So we do have Nicoract going back into the main. Oh, at least trying to. And nice control. He does pick off. Oh, barely picks off the Cyclone. The Banshees are so very low. Cyclone goes down. Catching out more SCVs. Oof. Losing one. One Banshee does fall, but so far not a bad trade here from Nicoract. As he's actually not getting into mech. Interesting. He was going into mech accelerators. He invested into Hyperflight Rotors. But no, he's switching into Bio from here. This is a little bit risky just because everything is late. The 1-1 upgrades are delayed. Stim is going to be delayed. Everything here is delayed in favor of the commitment early on into Cyclone and into Banshee. Has it paid for itself? We've gotten some value out of it, that is true, but I would say that Nicoract, he wants more. I would say that he does want more. So far, he's killed 7 SCVs for 3 Banshees. Jesus, like these are expensive losses. Losing Banshees. Liberator into the natural, gets 1 SCV. And Migs, he already has Stim. Getting into his own upgrades. We'll see if we can catch out those Cyclones. If he can catch him out, he can gain map control. He could maybe threaten the 3rd base of Nicoract. There we go, he gets 1. Just the 1. That's the other scary thing here, is that because of all the Cyclone production, Nicoract is behind in tanks as well. True. No, so not just behind in bio upgrades, but also behind in tanks. Oh, so Raven barely survives. Catching out more SCVs in the main. Still going for his own double drop. Nicoract still being hyper aggressive. Oh, and Migs, he wants to move out. Uh-oh. As Migs moves out, so the Cyclones, they move in. They're catching up more SCVs. Migs just going right down mid. And we could end up in a really weird scenario here where Migs, he could actually break the natural. Sure, there are 4 tanks to defend, but that's what the Ravens are for. So Migs, he can actually break this army, but at the same time, we might end up in a base trade. There are Cyclones harassing, that's true, but also the double drop, right? The double drop into the natural. Natural is exposed. Migs, he scans, he's moving in, he's going for the 3rd TC. And the workers, they will get away. Migs is going for the command center instead. At the same time, back at home, that's the first medevac goes down. Yeah, miscontrol there from Nicoract. Oh no! Tank low is going off. Migs holds. Migs, he holds, he defends. Again, he ran into the turrets. Yeah, you can see here, 1 kill on the turrets. Tanks are late to siege. Here come the disables, getting 1. Getting 1 of the tanks. Nice auto turrets, buying more time. Migs, he does take the fight. Again, the Ravens here are the MVPs for Migs. Ooh, Nicoract going for the Doom Drop even. He is spotted. He is spotted. These tanks have to get the hell out of here. It's too late. And we'll have to trade. Not trading for. Oh my god! Wait, what just happened? Oh my god! Wins the fight as well. The Doom Drop does nothing, and Vindicta, he will take the series 2-1, and he will advance on to the next round. GG. Fappy, I see a Doom drop landing on 4 tanks. I expect the tanks to die. What the hell? Oh my god. I guess they were spread out well enough. Obviously, there were auto turrets, right? Auto turrets were thrown down to help. A couple of Marines were trickling in as well, but that was a surprising fight that went Vindicta's way. I don't blame Nicoract at all for dropping on the army like that. That should have been the death of Nicoract, at least of that. Oh, sorry, of Vindicta, of that army. But no, Vindicta, he was able to hold on, able to take that fight. And again, was able to sneak out across the map. GG, well played. It was a bold move from Nicoract. Remember, I was concerned about his build. He went for Macfill accelerators. He committed into early cyclones. He went into Hyperflight Rotors with his Banshees, and again, he was behind in so many aspects as a result. He was behind when it came to his bio upgrades, when it came to his bio, he was behind when it came to his tank production as well. He invested heavily into Cyclones, into Ravens. I don't think it was quite worth it in the end, and unfortunately, he missed the army move outs. I mean, that was the big factor, of course. He missed the army move outs. He lost his 2 drops across the map. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, Vindicta, he does claim the series, and with that, we're getting into our next round. Here we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat, so have to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's catch up with the rag. Let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. Okay. From the top, we have herO. He does take down Perm 2-0. Lunacy takes down Mute at 2-1, and we have herO versus Lunacy in the quarterfinals. They're going to be facing off in that PvP. Speaking of, it's pure Protoss. It is pure Protoss in the upper half of the bracket. We have Jumy. We have Jumy up against Sig. That's also another PvP, and we have the winner up against Shameless. So pure Protoss in the upper half. Meanwhile, we have almost pure Terran. Almost pure Terran in the lower half. We have ByuN taking down Bilmialja 2-0. We have Rebellion getting a walkover over Farmy. We have Percival taking down Luciano 2-0. And we, of course, have Vindicta taking down Nicoract 2-1. So we have ByuN, Percival, and Vindicta as the Terran players. We have Rebellion as the Protoss. And if you were here last night, you would know that Rebellion did force ByuN to the ace match. Can he do it again? Can he claim the series? Best of luck to Rebellion. Best of luck. We go. Here we go. So again, we're going to be following Vindicta into the next series, into his next matchup. So Migs versus Percival, or the TBTs. Maybe he unloaded a little bit too slowly. Kind of. I mean, it also helped that the tanks were a little bit spread. I'd have to like watch the instant replay to see how that drop did unfold. But yeah, that surprisingly went in favor of Vindicta there. It's crazy. GG, well played. And with that, we're going to be getting into our next series. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, as we have the full quarterfinals ready, Jumy just took down Sig 2-0. But we're going to be going on a break. When we come back, we'll have Percival versus Vindicta into lower semis, into the grand finals. We'll see you soon. See you soon after the break.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of this week's PiGosaur Cup number 42. We've had some surprising results, I will say, coming into this, and now the TVTs continue. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Leylands, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Green Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player representing the Planet Esports or Planet Heroes. It is Vindicta. Miguelito. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our Terran versus Terran matchup. Here we go. Have our TVT. And Percival, he is a much more aggressive player, is what I will say. He's going to be a much more aggressive player. Well, I should emphasize, the challengers get harder and harder from here. You know, Vindicta, he already had a crazy result taking down Nicoract. I say crazy, I said at the time, I was feeling like it was quite close between the two players, but I was still leaning towards Nicoract. When it comes to who would claim that series, Vindicta, he was able to pop off, able to claim it in the end. Likewise, coming into this, Percival, he's going to be an even stronger challenger. The Korean Terran player, he's going to be favored in this matchup, but despite that, Miguelito, I believe he can threaten him, maybe even bring him down. Let's go. Here we go. So now we do have mirrored openers, mirrored builds. So far, so good. Both players opening up with their faster factories. We'll see if we go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. We'll see if we go into more early Cyclone production, into Cyclone drop play, which is quite trendy amongst the Korean Terrans. Of course, we've been talking about this in recent times, in recent months, but Percival, he's been going through the TVT gauntlet as of late. I don't know what it is, but GSL qualifiers alongside EWC qualifiers as well, and weekly tournaments. Percival, he just always is lined up to play in TVT. You can even see it in this bracket, actually. But Percival, he has played against Bunny and ByuN, KSL as well, so often. Like, he's always playing TVTs. And even if you look at this bracket as well, if he advances onto the semifinals, who is he slated to face off against? ByuN. Like Percival and ByuN, they play so often. Again, whether it's against ByuN, whether it's against Bunny as well. Like Percival, there's just so much TVT out there from him recently. And I would say that Percival's strongest matchup is Terran versus Protoss, but his TVT has been getting better because he's just been playing so much of it. Like, he's playing so much of it, so it has been improving. As we go, double Reaper into the main. Oh, does go for the SCVs. Clutch repair, but one SCV does go down. Gets one SCV so far, but the last is going to be cleaned up.
We'll lose both the Reapers. We'll lose them both. Likewise, we do see both armies going to be bypassing each other. We do see Percival trying to get into main. At the same time, so does Vindicta. He gets in. Yeah, with three Reapers, does take down the SCV. The Hellion even. Hellion does fall. The boys are being pulled within range of the Hellions. And Migs, he does take down 2 SCVs so far. Meanwhile, so does Percival. The CC does complete. Percival comes out ahead. I do feel like, I mean, there's nothing here. I do feel like Vindicta, he could have been more aggressive with those Reapers, but no, he backs off. He plays it safe. And he's racing back home. He's racing back home. I mean, he still cannot expand. The CC is so delayed. Finally, he does finish up, and Percival, he's back up to mining. He's already muling. He already has an orbital. So Percival, he does have the greater economy. Here we go. This makes being active. Percival strongest against Zerg. He hates Protoss. I agree with what you're saying, and I disagree as well. Percival, he does hate Protoss. It's still his best matchup. I rate Percival's TVP better than his TVZ. 100%. 100%. Just because he doesn't like a matchup doesn't mean he's bad at it. Unfortunately, as Migs, he does get caught out. Will bleed out his army. Yes, it's well known that he has disdain for TVP. He's still getting good results though. Este Percival. Better than against Zerg and Terran. From here, but he does break through. He will attempt to delay the CC. There we go. Does force a cancel, not bad. Does cancel the command center. Migs rallying across the map. Behind this getting to his own bio setup. I believe Percival should be working in the same direction. There we go. Stim is on the way. Both players going into bio tank. And again, Percival being punished for his greed. See the chat, someone asking, is this a best of 3? Yes, this is a best of 3. Migs cashing out the tanks, not bad. Gets one, gets both. Oh my god. Catching Percival off guard here. He does catch it with his pants down. Does move in. Percival, he survives with 1 tank, but Migs is pushing right into the natural. Again, Percival once again being so greedy, trying to retake that 3rd CC. Yeah, tank is zoned out. Raven out of position. Boys are being pulled. And nice target firing. Does focus on the tank. Avoids the auto turrets. And Migs, this is his moment. But the tank does siege. Oof. Yeah, does siege up. And Percival holds. Percival, he does barely hold on, but that was a messy defense here from Percival. That was shaky. Again, he was out of position. He was being greedy. We can see Vindicta getting his own 3rd CC on location. Let's go. Este Miguelito. We see Percival retaking his 3rd. He's rebuilding closer to the edge. Migs does have a tank lead thanks to those trades. He does have double the tank count. He's ahead in Vikings as well. I'm liking Vindicta's position here. It's an SCV. From here, we're backing off. We're building up. Catching a couple of SCVs. I mean, very nice damage. Getting 4 more SCVs here in the main. Players are building up. Again, Migs, he has a nice lead. Not too much an overwhelming advantage, I should emphasize, but nice lead nonetheless. His third base fully operational. Percival just now landing his own base. And we'll see if Percival can break through. He's got a double drop towards the left. His main army through the center. Scan does reveal the main army. Migs, not in position. He does pull the Vikings away. And the drop does come in. And Migs is racing on over. He's forced to pull the boys. SCV is going to be going down. Brutal losses here for Vindicta. And this might just be too much. This might be too much. 20 SCV kills. One double drop. Sometimes that's all it takes. One time you're out of position and bam. Dead mineral line. 20 SCV kills. Brutal losses there for Vindicta. Up until this point, I was preferring his position. He was in a better position. Had the greater economy, building up the larger army, even now still has a greater tank count, but after losing all those workers, he's stuck at home. And now he's going to be stuck at home. And he has to make a choice. Does he just turtle, which we saw against Nicoract earlier, if you recall, or do we move out? Here we go. Migs going for his own double drop. Quadruple drop even. How about Percival? He does have the depot. So Percival, he will spot this. At least he should. Percival looking for another way in. Meanwhile, we do have that Doom drop making its way into the main, but oh, the boost does run out. And with that, Vindicta, he will lose this army. Force the siege up, he will lose 1, 2, 3, all 4 tanks. Yeah, brutal loss here for Vindicta. Likewise, even losing the Medivacs as well. Nice prioritization there from Percival. Chases down the Medivacs, 1 Medivac survives. And now it's go time. Now it's go time for Percival. He now has the economic lead and the army lead as well. Pushing right down mid. And I mean, nice target flying out of Vindicta. Gets the Raven. They still up against the Sea of Terran. Percival does stem in. Does take a worse fight pushing into a tank line. But there we go. 1, 2 tanks go down. He's forcing his way towards the base, into the mineral line. Tanks are sieging up. And Mace is trying to hold on. 4th CC now being taken. Drop into the main. A little bit delayed. Gets a full medevac, okay. Mace takes on a full medevac. He does barely repair the tank. Oh, does not save it. And Percival at this point is just rallying. At this point he can just rally across the map. Like, he's far enough ahead where he can take these inefficient fights. At least some inefficient fights. He's coming a little bit too soon. Yeah, the boy's being pulled. It looks like Migs, he will clean up these tanks. Again, Percival having a bit of a shaking gauge here. He was premature. Migs does punish, and now he's all in. Migs, he will lose 18 SCVs. He's down to 46. At this point, Migs is all in. Never mind. I was under the assumption that he would counterattack, and Migs, he does have the greater army. He's up 20 supply. He's up 20 army supply. Now is the time to push. Oof. Please out a Viking. Again, Migs, he just reset the tank count. Migs, he does have the better army. He's going for drop play. He's going for the drop instead. Which means Percival, he's being given time to recover and to actually make use of this 4th. Remember, he's up in workers. He has a 4th expansion as well. Has a better economy. So given time, Percival, he will recover. He will recover. He will catch back up. Migs now going for the drop on the right hand side, but again, it just takes so long to get across the map like this. It takes so long. The drop is coming in. The drop, I believe, is spotted. Yep, Percival, he does stim over. Migs, he will siege. He will siege up. He does start down the first tank. And can he get the second? He can. Yes, second tank goes down, but there are just so many Marines. Despite that, Migs, he takes the fight. Okay, let's go. Does take the fight, takes out all the Marines. At the same time, pushes right down the center. And this is his moment. He's got to go. He's got to send it. Send it back. Kane denied 3-3. Yeah, 18 SCV kills. Does go for the natural. CC goes down. And I was worried that he was just going to give Percival too much time, but he doesn't. Oh, overextending. And Migs does overextend. Tanks are sieging up. Can he get on top of the tanks? Yes, let's go. He does pull Percival apart. And Migs, it looks like he may have just done it. Denies +3. Denies 1 upgrade so far. Oh, still a rough rally here from Vindicta. Gets 26 SCVs, but barely was unable to reinforce. Missed rallies into the tanks as well. It was close. Oh yeah, rallying SCVs as well. I had to Migs, calm down. Making mistakes. Still rallying SCVs across the map. We gotta calm down, but calm down. Again, Migs, he was close. He was so close to breaking Percival then and there, but again, he had a really rough rally with it when it came to his army. Really rough path for his reinforcements. He only denied +3 attack, no +3 armor. So only denied one of those ebays, one of those upgrades. And the game continues. The game does continue. Now, taking a moment here to take stock, both players are on 4 CCs. That is true. We do see that Vindicta does have a slight economic lead, does have that worker advantage. On top of that, he has the high yield gas geyser as well, so he has a slightly boosted economy when it comes to gas income. Migs does have the larger army, but Percival still has better upgrades. Yes, his +3 got denied, that's true, but he's still up 2-3 compared to the 2-2 of Vindicta. So his bio army is still slightly better. 3-3 just now beginning here for Migs. When it comes to the tank count, is in favor of Percival. Does have more tanks. In a head-on fight, I do favor the Blue Terran. I do favor Percival if they fight with their main armies head-on. It's a big if there. Liberator denying mining time. Gets 1, 2, 3 SCVs. Migs finding a couple of free tanks, not bad. I say couple, he gets 1 tank. We'll lose a medevac. So medevac will lose his Marines. Still a better pick-off here for Vindicta. And Migs should be the first to max out. On the one hand, Percival does have the higher tank count, that is true, but he's not making use of it. Currently not making use of it. He's slowly getting a 5th expansion. Meanwhile, we do see Percival does have the higher Viking count. He's got the Liberators as well. Gee, he's got 73 Marines. Jesus. I mean, that is a way to break through a siege line. It's not the easiest way, but a way nonetheless. Percival does rotate. Catching out a medevac, catching out a couple of Marines. Nice pick-offs here from Percival. Does out trade. Every little bit does count. He's catching out Percival, forcing his response. But here comes the Liberators, here comes the air control. It takes out both tanks, denies mining. Again, this is the power of Viking Liberator, right? Like, he has air control, he can bully the ground army. Rough losses here for Vindicta. It's been a very close, very intense back and forth, but again, this is still a greater advantage here for Percival. Still something that Migs can't deal with. Migs, again, instead he has Mass Marine. He's got 70 still. Ah, he gets scanned. Wow, he gets scanned, he gets spotted. Percival, he reacts. Getting in position. Tanks are on siege. Uh-oh. Tanks are on siege. Vindicta he cannot break through. Oof. Despite the higher marine count. He's racing back home. Losing more tanks. So Liberator finally goes down. We have 2 more starports on the way for Percival. Again, going into Mass Viking. Oh no! Gets a full medevac. Nice bait. Again, what's important about this kind of game state here, the soup does lie. Vindicta, he's up in army supply, or up in supply, that is true, but it's about what kind of supply that is. And it's all marine. That supply is almost pure marine here. We see 16 tanks from Percival. Percival, he is turtling up hard back at home. He's got 16 tanks, he's got Vikings, he's got Liberators. He basically has a mech army. He has minimal marine. Minimal marine here, mainly tank Viking. Now, thankfully for Vindicta, Percival, he's spread thin, right? He's spread in between all of his bases. So there are some weak points in the army. Oof, pushing into tanks though. Migs trying to catch out the tanks. Does 10-4, does get 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks barely go down. That's a better trade for Vindicta. Takes down 4 tanks. ByuN army is stimming in. Tanks laid to sleep, they laid to siege. Migs gets punished, Migs is out of position, he's racing on over. Losing more tanks. What was meant to be a better trade for Vindicta, now less so. Right down mid. There are only 2 tanks here. He gets 1. He's gonna barely maybe get the other. Does get it. He takes down both tanks. But alas, he's overextending. Breaks through the siege line on the left-hand side as well. The tanks are exposed. Again, he lost too many Marines. Yeah, he lost too many Marines here. First of all, he's holding. Marines, now they're coming in. These tanks are pushing forward. Okay. Migs rallying in. It denies the center expansion. Denies the CC. Calm down. Percival coming in for a flank. There's not many Marines here for Vindicta. Needs those reinforcements. Has to watch his rally. Speaking of, does catch the Marines, okay. Does catch him out, does him in. This I'm not so sure about. Yeah, he sims into 3 tanks. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. Migs, calm down. Calm down, back. There's once again there's that 1 Liberator. Gets a tank. Still very tense. Percival takes the fresh mining base. So does Vindicta. Both players expanding. I believe that was the main. Yeah, the main base does float over. But this Liberator once again causing so many problems. Percival, he does see the orbital. Remember, these are orbitals, not planetary, so they're even more vulnerable. Percival, he breaks out. He's got his Ravens. Takes down all 3 tanks. Better fights for Percival. Missed rally here from Vindicta. And Percival, he has how many? He has 6 Ravens. Soon to be 8. Ravens, they just keep building up. With that, Migs, he's getting caught out here. Yeah, he's getting overwhelmed, getting a little bit desperate. He will plummet in supply, losing his main army. Ay, ay, ay. Again, Migs just getting a little bit desperate. Does find a couple of tanks. But overall, Percival just has a greater army. He's got Mass Raven, he has Mass Sable. Sims on in. And Percival, he will take it. GG gets called. Percival, he will take game number 1 and a lead in the series. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth and a really impressive showing here by Vindicta. Again, Vindicta, he is a part-time player nowadays. He is not full-time. He has a full-time job outside of StarCraft. He streams in his free time instead. He does approach this more as like a hobby sort of thing. So for him to take down Nicoract, for him to go toe-to-toe against Percival here, very impressive play out of Vindicta. Percival does claim it, but it was a very intense back and forth. Honestly, Vindicta, he almost won that game. He almost took it when he pushed into the natural, if you remember. When he pushed into the natural, when he broke through the siege line, when he denied +3 attack, we saw, though, a bit of a mismanagement from his rally, is what I will say. He did mismanage his rally. His rally did run into tanks, who was bleeding out a lot of supply. He wasn't able to reinforce, and he wasn't able to bolster that position and keep pushing forward from there. So fumbled the ball a little bit, is what I will say, after being in an amazing position there. And GG, well played. Percival, he was able to recover, able to bounce back, able to build up the greater kind of more mech-based army with Mass Tank Viking Liberator. GG, well played. And now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Getting into game 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran himself, leading the series 1-0. And 1 game away from advancing on to the semifinals. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, the American Terran, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Vindicta. We go. And it looks like the other series have wrapped up, as we are being joined by most of the other casters. They did join us. So it looks like the other matches have either wrapped up or are wrapping up, and we're going to be filing in. We have confirmation, of course, that ByuN is waiting for the winner of this series, so it's going to be, the TVTs will continue from Percival versus Vindicta into ByuN, and most likely into the grand finals. So we're nearing the tail end of the broadcast, nearing the tail end of the tournament. We'll have to double check. I do know that they have been alternating when it comes to the semis being best of 3s or best of 5s, so we'll have to double check that in regards to what the format is going to be this week, as they have been mixing it up a little bit. But it looks like we have confirmation. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be best of 5 semifinals. Oof, okay. I was looking forward to having some breakfast. I was it's like, yo, can I actually get some food in the morning? No shot. And bearing in mind as well, this is our first broadcast of the day. We do have another broadcast later on tonight. It is going to be OC King of the Hill. That is going to be in around 10 hours time. Around 10 hours. So we'll have to get ready for that as well. So it's going to be an intense Intense period in time. Intense day. Couple of days, actually. I think tomorrow we also have a back-to-back broadcast, right? Let's see. Tomorrow's just a podcast, thank God. Oh, no, it is back-to-back. Ah, God. Tomorrow is the podcast and Sunny Lake Cup as well. Sunny Lake Cup. Also, some new tournaments were just announced as well. For those who are curious, the Code for Giants Cup, the Brazilian Soccer 2 circuit, so they actually are going to be starting some monthly Latin American tournaments. Tournaments for Latino America. I was just notified of that this morning. So we have some more Latin American StarCraft on the horizon as well. Of course, we have HSL on the horizon. True, true. This is a lot of StarCraft. So now we do have our double gas openers once again. So double gas out of Vindicta, double gas out of Percival. Oh, Mig's trying to take the fight here, and he will get on top of the Reapers. Takes down both. Yeah, takes down both Reapers. Percival, Mig's does take the bit of fight. Percival forced back. Oh, getting caught out. Yeah, he's gonna get caught out here. He will lose everything. So much better engage here from Vindicta. The mind shot. Oh my God. Takes down the Hellion. Oh, he missed. No, he missed the shot. He did miss the shot. Aye. Reaper does get away. And again, after an intense back and forth, we have an equivalent worker count, right? We have an equivalent worker count. Both players are expanding and their natural base is up and running. We do have early Cyclone production out of our Blue Terran out of Percival. Meanwhile, we have early tank production out of Vindicta. Okay, so we already have a bit of a divergence here between our two players. Tanks are building up. Meanwhile, we are going for the early tank drop from the side of Vindicta. Percival instead opening up Raven. Let's go. Food, yes, I will make some ramen. Oh, the ramen. Here we go, the tank has arrived, he's going for the add-on, going for the depot. Depot is going to go down. The production is far enough behind where the tank is not within range. Oh, actually within range of the racks. Not within range of the add-ons. There we go, Mix, he picks up, gets the hell out of here. Bit of mine is going to be dealt with. And Mix pulls away. Never mind, trying to catch up the army. Bold move. Trying to bait him in. Tank bullet goes off, gets one of the Cyclones, not bad. Oh, the Medevac! Medevac does barely survive as well. Here come the auto turrets, Medevac does fall. Percival does hold the line, but it was forced to throw down those two auto turrets, which means there's no Matrix. Yeah, the upgrade did finish, but no energy on the Ravens. No energy. Third TCs on the way for both players. Calming down. We're building up. Makes he pulls away. Pulls away, does back up. And again, we're building up into a longer game. I mean, welcome one to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Known for longer games of Percival, he's still moving out. His Ravens, they now have a disable. Does have the Matrix. Runs into the army, doesn't quite keep pushing. And Miggs is pre-sieged. As the hit Miggs, he will lose that Cyclone. A little bit too close. And you can see here Percival just dominating the skies with those Vikings. He does have that air control. Once again, you can see just how important air control is in TVT. We have more Vikings on the way. Percival still rallying. Oh, It does it with a Raven, and with that, the boys are being pulled. It's going to be a tough defense here for Vindicta. He will be able to clean this up, but at a cost. As that's going to be 8 SCV kills. Takes down all the tanks. Takes down the Liberator. 8 SCVs going down. Lost all of his Ravens as well. True. And Migs lost 2 Ravens, lost his Marines. But does hold. Does hold, does survive. Percival does take that worker lead. Step in economy. Looking for another way in. He's looking. And again, despite Percival having a small army, he's still just being so aggressive, so assertive here. Again, he's got 2 tanks and 3 Marines. With the Vikings, they give him a lot of confidence. And there we go. Gets one of the tanks. 1 tank goes down. At the same time, Mig's going for his own double drop. Does get across the map. And Percival, he's unaware. Add-ons are exposed. Does deny combat shields. Oh, actually going for the tank. The tank goes down. Boys are being pulled into tank fire. Tank's just going off Marines. Does barely deny combat shields. Not bad. 12 SCV kills. Migs bouncing back. Oh god. At the same time, forcible the boys. Does defend back at home. And what's scary here is that Migs, he kills 15 SCVs, he's still behind. He's still down 10 workers. Migs, he still needs more damage. It was impressive. Migs, he closes that gap, but it's still there. The gap is still there. Still behind. And again, the pressure's on Vindicta to go for more drop play, to go for more drops, to go for more counterattacks, to recover in this game. Speaking of, yep, there it is. Just going for another drop. And again, he has to, right? Like, Migs, he has to do something to bounce back. Planetary's finishing up at the 4th. Percival, he's up in expansion. It isn't just about dropping, it's also about defending back at home. As they run into each other. Oh. And Migs, he's scouted. He does defend back at home. Macy defends. Macy's forced back. Again, he was trying to go for a drop across the map, but he got scouted. No, we're calming down. We're calming down. Drops have been deflected. We see Vindicta. He's now should be working towards a 4th CC. Yet to do so. So no 4th base yet. Marines do clash. Percival, he's double expanding. he's from here getting further ahead. Now, despite that, I will also say that Migs, he does have the opportunity to recover. Like, there's always ways to outposition your opponent, to get into a base, get into an expansion. Especially in TVT, there's always a chance. But, I mean, that's why it's so important that Percival is throwing down all these sensor towers, right? Throwing down all these turrets, sensor towers, siege lines as well. Percival, he knows that at some point he will be out of position, but he's just making sure that he has something there to buy time to deter, to give him time to react. Yeah, Vikings as well. He knows that like my opponent is most likely going to go for drop play. So Vikings also in position here. Liberator towards left hand side. Percival secure. Oh no, gets a tank. He gets one. He's gonna get two. Yeah, he's gonna get both. Does he get all three? No, shot three. Tanks go down. Yeah, there's no tanks left. No tanks left here. Mig's going for a counterattack, going for a Doom drop, but it's too late. Third is gonna fall. Liberators are getting damage. And the Hail Mary play here for Vindicta. He does Doom drop into the main, but unfortunately this is just hitting so late. As Percival stimming in. Stimming into the bases, stimming into natural. There are no tanks to defend. Boys are being pulled. And oh god, Mix, I mean, he might barely hold on here, but it's going to cost him so much. Tanks are late to unload, late to siege, but they do siege nonetheless. And Percival, he does maintain this position at the same time across the map. Mix, he does take over the main. Takes over all the production. Kills the CC, but this is all the army that's left here. 2 tanks, Mass Marine. And Mix, he does kill the production, which is nice. Oh, good. Still working through those tanks. Does bring them down. Barely. Mix does take this fight. But he can't deal with this army. Like, he cannot deal with this siege line. Percival slowly pushing in. And GG gets called. Percival, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Percival. He will claim the series, but a shout out to Vindicta because game 1 was so clutch. Like, I can easily see this going to the ace match, going all the way to game 3. Game 1 was so clutch, so close, so back and forth. Vindicta was ahead in multiple times, was killing Percival multiple times as well. But again, it did seem like Vindicta was getting a little bit nervous. He was misrallying. He was caught kind of rallying into the army and losing reinforcements. He wasn't able to reinforce, and GG. GG, well played. Game 2 was a little bit more one-sided. Game 2, Percival, he was a little more in control of this game from early on, from an earlier stage where he was able to get a lead and maintain that lead, but game 1 was much more intense. So if you missed out on game 1, I do recommend the VODs. I do recommend tuning in. Really impressive play there by Vindicta. And with that, we're now getting into the semis. We're going to be heading over to the Korean server here. It is going to be Percival versus ByuN in the next round. Let's go. Let us go. So we're heading over to the Korean server. Vetoes are underway, and ByuN versus Percival is soon to begin. Conducting the vetoes. Meanwhile, we can catch up on the brackets. We can switch our scenes over. From the top here, we do have herO. herO took down Lunacy 2-0. Shameless took down Jumy 2-0, and we have herO versus Shameless. Looks like they're still mid-series. As a reminder, these are best of 5s. These are best of 5s between the players. These are best of 5 semifinals and a best of 5 finals as well. So we have our top 4. So herO and Shameless, likewise ByuN and Percival. The top 2 seeds of the tournament are herO and ByuN, so we'll see if anyone can stop those two from facing off against each other. As I mentioned before, Percival and ByuN, they've been playing so often this year. They play so much, they play so often. Typically, of course, goes the way of ByuN, but Percival, again, his TVT has been improving. He has been improving just because he's been playing so much of it as of late. And we'll see how he compares to ByuN. We'll see if he can bring him down and make a series out of this. Let's go. Likewise, herO and Shameless are also facing off as well. I would imagine they're being covered by some of the other casters, but I think they might have already completed, but maybe just haven't posted their results. I say that just because we have Dave here, we have Bomyoja, we have, I think, all the other casters, unless Rocklets is live. True. I'll double check. ¿A dónde está mi Rocklets? I don't... I don't quite see Rocklet's live here. So no Portuguese stream currently. Smooch. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, we're getting into our first series, into our first best of 5, and spawning in the bottom hand corner of ley lines, we have the red Terran player, we have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Little Fairy, it is Percival. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open and place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Hello, as Percival does move out across the map with the early SCV. You have my attention. This might be a bit of a shorter series here. It is going to be a best of 5, that is true, but again, we might see more aggression from both sides. Double gas opener out of ByuN. Yeah. See. Beautiful. So we do have 1 Rax at home, 1 across the map. Much love to Bomayoja. Banana way. Oh no. We're going full Spanish. No mames, no mames. Okay, we're going. Let's go. Okay, we're having too much fun. We're having too much fun, Bobby. No mames, wait. No mames. Right, here we go. As for now, we're getting to our openers. I should emphasize ByuN being very safe. ByuN is being very safe here. It's being very safe, going double gas into a faster factory. We see Percival being hyper aggressive, going into his initial 2 Rax Reaper into a factory before CC. So a heavily delayed CC out of Percival, and the goal here is to get damage done early on. Here we go. He does move in. That's ByuN, he pulls back. CC on the high ground, safe response by ByuN. ByuN, he didn't even scout, by the way, but he does recognize the aggression, the threat of 2 Reapers. Pulls away, setting up on the high ground. We do see Percival still building up his Reapers, jumping into the main. Does jump in, but running into through 2 Hellions. Yeah, Hellion volley is going up. Percival is going to be forced out. Oh, does try to punish, and ByuN is holding. ByuN, he is holding on. Percival going for a delayed CC here on the low ground. And so far, the opener has not really paid for itself. Winding it back, basically what Percival was hoping for, he was hoping that ByuN would be greedy. He was hoping that ByuN would go for a more economic opener instead and catch him with his pants down. As he pointed out, it was double gas. It was a safe opener out of ByuN. So ByuN, very safe. He defends, he deflects. He does build a faster CC, and ByuN, I would say, here is in a better position. It's going to be on Percival to try to recover, to try to find some more damage elsewhere. Now, at least Percival does preserve his army, right? He didn't lose anything, I believe. He didn't lose any units, so he still has all these Reapers. He can still make use of them. What I will say, though, is that Reapers, they fall off over time, right? They lose value over time just because as we get into bio army, as we get into tank production as well, like Reapers are less effective, they're less valuable. So the earlier, we need to make use of them soon. That's what I'm getting at. And here we go, they do move out with the Cyclone. So they're going to be able to support the Cyclone. With that, he can maybe take this fight. But again, ByuN is building up his own Cyclones as well. Still being very safe, even getting a second Cyclone. And here we go with the Medevac, he's pushing. Yeah, ByuN, he's moving out. He breaks out. And this is going to be a tough hold here for Percival. Remember, Percival, he has no tank production of his own or anything like that. He does have the 1 Cyclone, does have some Reapers. ByuN has more potential. Here we go. As he does move out. ByuN counter does catch up the Cyclone. 1 Cyclone falls. Takes down the Cyclone, takes down the Mineral Line as well. It's gonna be 6, 7 SCV kills. Oh god. Again, Percival just completely out of position. And Percival, he might be able to clean this up, but the damage has already been done. The damage has been done. It's going to be 12 SCVs. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take game number 1. GG. Does take game 1, does take a lead in the series. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Going to be jumping into game 2. And we'll see if we can recover. We'll see if we can bounce back. Again, it was a really short game, which to be expected. Was a shorter game. Now we're getting to game number 2. We're getting into game 2, and game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. Oh boy. And we'll see if ByuN does kind of turn the tables on Percival. We'll see if he's going to be hyper aggressive. We'll see if he's the one to go for the proxy instead. We'll see. Again, it was just a really shaky start from Percival, and ByuN did a great job punishing. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Green Terran representing Shopper Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the other South Korean Terran, the blue Terran representing Team Little Fairy. It is Percival. We go. There we go. As we are settling in. And this time, as we load into a much larger map of the map pool, there's a higher chance that we go for more economic starts. And as you can see here, single gas opener out of ByuN. ByuN going for a Rax expand. This would have been a much better. Oh, no, never mind. Going double gas. Percival, he's the one going for something a little bit more economic here instead. This is where like aggression and proxies can be more effective. It is more risky just because the map is larger, of course, but there's a higher chance your opponent is going to be playing more economically and more greedy. So you can try to punish them. Well, you see the ByuN once again is opening at double gas. Meanwhile, Percival opening up with a single gas geyser. He's going for a faster CC, going for a more greedy, more economic build from the side of the blue Terran. Go. So players are opening up. So far, so good. Likewise, we have our factory follow-up, and we're just going to take it slow here. Coming into Tokamak, there is a higher chance it's going to be a longer game. It's going to we just have slower starts, more economic starts, at least from one player, so we're slowing things down, we're building up. Of course, there is still going to be certain timing attacks available that we can try to go for, but for the most part, we're just taking it easy here, coming into game number 2. Gonna take it easy. And factory still on the way here for Percival. Meanwhile, we do see ByuN going for his 1-1-1. ByuN getting to the mineral line. There's the Marines are quite in position here. SCV goes down. Mining is going to be denied. Nice pick up here from ByuN. The Marine just has to get into that bunker. There we go. Let's dive in. And Percival holds. Whew. Percival, he does hold on. ByuN behind this, setting up. And he's going for the early drop. So, interesting. So, if you remember last game, he went for a Cyclone drop. This time, going for a tank drop. He's going to load up his tanks and move out with that medevac, move out with his drop play. Looking at the positioning here, he can maybe pick off a depot, or he can actually go for the natural instead. He has options. And remember, army-wise, Percival, he is behind. And here comes ByuN, looking to make his way towards the natural. Oh boy. Aye, aye, aye. As ByuN does boost in. Boost in. Sieges up. It looks like Percival, he should have enough here, especially with the Cyclone. Oh, never mind. The Cyclone is going to be targeted down, and ByuN pulls away. Yeah, he pulls away, he saves the tank. Nice trades here from ByuN. They did trade Marines. Well, just, oh no! As ByuN does go back in. A little bit greedy here. At the same time, Reapers into the main base. But very greedy out of ByuN. I don't know if he can really find any extra damage here. Yeah, the medevac is going to be zoned away. Medevac goes down. ByuN does get the Cyclone, but he will lose the tank. And you could argue the tank has more value. And with that, Percival holds. Percival does hold on. Again, ByuN, initially I think the trade was okay, but did keep going. And with that, ByuN does at least catch up in the worker count. ByuN, we gotta calm down. ByuN is going to be harassing, does get behind the mineral lines. Percival, he does move out through the center of the map, checking the main armies here. We do have Percival with a lower Raven count, but remember, one Raven is harassing across the map, so it won't be available to defend. He is now moving in, does have his Liberator. And we'll see if he can break through. If his Matrix is ready. Liberator does siege, going for the tank. And doesn't barely get the tank. Tank does survive. So does bring down the tank. Does lose one, does lose the other. Percival gonna be pushing in. ByuN, he's in trouble here. He has to pull the boys. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Does disable the tank. Order Heart's being thrown down, and the tank is gonna fall, but he will lose both Ravens in the process. That was an expensive trade here for ByuN. Losing both Ravens. ByuN does him in. Yeah, he breaks out. Yeah, he breaks through the siege line. Did lose all his Ravens, but he still has that Marine advantage. Yeah, some brutal trades here. I mean, the Bio Army is still very overstimmed, or very weakened, I should say. Very softened up. That ByuN, he's holding. He's defending. Vikings getting bullied back. That one Raven is still alive from earlier, still wreaking havoc, getting more STV kills. Here comes the land. ByuN, he breaks out. Again, he took advantage of this Vikings landing. Takes down the Raven. Bullies back the reinforcements. Oh, and Percival, he will lose everything here. Yeah, big overextension from Percival. How many kills has this one Raven gone? The one Raven has 17. No, that's purely SCV kills, by the way. 17 SCV kills on this one Raven. Insane damage. But alas, ByuN, he was able to break out from his contain. He pushes it across the map. ByuN has a massive advantage. Still has to be careful pushing into a siege line of tanks, though. Does have to respect it. ByuN does pull away. Here's stepping on forward. Catching out the Vikings. So let's get a tank as well. And catching out the tanks, they're going to be caught unsieged. One tank left. Ta-da! It's going to go down as well. Oh, what the hell with the repairs though? Does repair. Does barely keep them topped up. But yeah, ByuN just overwhelms. Yeah, he does overwhelm. Drop into the natural base as well. Percival, he can no longer keep up. Will lose his tanks, will lose his mineral line. GG gets called, and ByuN, he overwhelms. He will take a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very intense game here. We had Percival. He had some nice moments when it came to moving out across the map, but overall, and likewise, we also had ByuN overextending early on as well, but GG. GG, well played in the end. ByuN does claim the game, and now we're getting into game number 3, and I'm hoping that we can have a back and forth here, hoping that's not too one-sided, but the pressure is on. The pressure is on, Percival. GG. So now getting into game 3 on Last Fantasy. Okay. We're loading into Last Fantasy. The most vetoed map in the map pool. Let's go. I'm ready for it. Gibbs, man. Gibbs. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Last Fantasy, we have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran player himself. We have the South Green Terran leading the series 2-0 and 1 game away from claiming the series and advancing on to the grand finals. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top side of Last Fantasy, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Little Fairy. It is Percival. See in chat, why best of 5? Isn't it only finals best of 5? If you haven't been watching the PiGosaur Cup over the past month, I want to say maybe month and a half, like 3-4 editions of PiGosaur Cup. The semis are best of 5s. The semis are best of 5s. It's a relatively recent change, relatively recent. Again, like from like a month or 2 ago. So it's relatively recent. But yeah, semifinals are best of 5s. Wasn't always the case. True. Was not always the case. But was a change from a couple of editions ago. He's had to Shameless really defeat herO 3-0. Yes. Shameless, he's in the grand finals. I did want to kind of hold on to that until after we wrap up the series. But yes, the winner of this will be facing off not against herO, but against Shameless. We were waiting to see if anyone could cause an upset. Could anyone stop herO and ByuN from facing? The answer is yes. And we'll see if Percival can do the same. We'll see if we can also cause the upset here. Aye. But yeah, big win there for Shameless. Again, for people that maybe don't watch a lot of StarCraft, might not be familiar, but Shameless, he has been a very, very active player for the past, over a year at this point. Very active, very strong player in his own right. It is definitely an upset for him to bring down herO. I saw some people being like, yo, maybe hero's fatigued from UWC. That's solid copium right there. herO, it was 2 days ago where he beat MaxPax in the finals of WarDTV Monday. So herO, like, he's still in form, still very much so in form. He just beat MaxPax not too long ago either. Is the argument that Shameless greater than MaxPax? True. No, but yeah, really impressive play there from Shameless. My first thought was maybe herO off-raced against Shameless. He does off-race from time to time in these tournaments, but I have confirmation that no, herO, he played his main race. So really impressive play there, but from Shameless, really impressive. Again, Shameless, I think he was my rising star pick for 2024, I think. When it comes to like up and coming players, but despite that, yeah, big win for Shameless. GG. We don't know what happened in that series, what exactly happened. It was a short series though, so I would imagine that herO probably went for greedy openers. He's been known to go for like Gate Cyber expands or even Nexus First as well. And Shameless was able to punish him. And we have seen instances where herO goes for an all-in against his opponents, and Shameless may have just defended. But we know it was a really short series. Like, they ended real fast and real quick. So, short games. Suelta tu amiga. Let's go. Shameless is the youngest player right now? No. I believe GG Machine is younger, and Mini-Zerg is also younger as well. There's a lot of younger players. There's a lot of young blood in the scene. But Shameless, he is one of those like younger generation of players. I will say that. Like, he's one of the younger generation. He's like I think he's 19 years old right now. 19. But like Eba's younger, right? Eba's younger, GG Machine's younger, Mini-Zerg is younger. I think Arcfire is either the same age or maybe a year younger. I'm uncertain about Arcfire. He's around that range as well. Meanwhile, again, welcome to Last Fantasy. We did have initial openers. We did see ByuN threatening a dive. GG Machine turned 16 like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Like there's a decent like wave of younger players that have been active for a couple of years. Basically, they're the COVID generation, like the generation of players that started competing during COVID. Very young. Oh. As ByuN, as well as we see Percival going for his own tank drop here towards the natural. Oh, ByuN catches the medevac. No, gets the medevac and he gets the tank as well. The MVP Cyclone. This one Cyclone got both, by the way. Medevac and the tank as well. So unlike the last game where ByuN was able to pop over this tank drop, we can see here Percival, his tank drop does fall on its face. It does fall on its face, losing the medevac, losing the tank as well. Brutal losses there for Percival. Not like this. Yeah, if you missed out on the stream, like I named those players, like named Eva, named Arcfire, named Mini-Zerg, named them all. There we go. ByuN is moving out. Likewise behind this third CC on location, so ByuN has a very comfortable lead. Has a very comfortable lead here, claiming his expansion. He shut down the early aggression from here, getting into his own tank Viking production. So is Percival. Like, they're both working in the same direction, but ByuN does have his lead, and that is a second starport, by the way. So second starport, 2-port mass Viking production out of ByuN. His goal here is to dominate the sky, is to take that air superiority as quickly as possible here and overwhelm. Now it still will take a little bit for those for that second starport to kick in, but it's on the way. Oh my god! Meanwhile, once again, these Cyclones, they gain so much value. We have a couple of boys being pulled to repair. Percival trying to force his way in. He himself did go 2-port. My mistake. I did miss that. So we have 2-port 2-base all in out of Percival. Meanwhile, maybe 2-port response out of ByuN. So Percival is going for the all in. This is very old school. It's going for the special, as Juanito did popularize this a couple of years ago, or many years ago at this point. And takes out the Liberator. Bearing in mind, the backbone of this army was the Liberator, and it does go down. Oof. Losing a Viking. Percival now is forced to expand. Late third base out of Percival. ByuN does pick up a couple of Vikings, but still will lose air control. Taking his own third. Start moving in. Percival trying to force his way into the main. Does drop on top of the tanks, gets 1, gets 2 tanks, just barely 3. Oh my god, takes down 3 tanks. ByuN, he defends his main. Percival bleeding out a lot of units here. Do trade Vikings, let's go. Do trade. And throughout this, ByuN landing and establishing his own third, so is Percival. And he's holding his own. And he does hold on. Remember, he has his own second starport, pumping out Vikings. ByuN gonna try to break through that siege line. With the help of the speed zones here, oh god, I'm not too convinced here. He's going to bleed out a lot of units. Does get 1, 2, does barely get all 3 tanks. A messy fight here from ByuN. Very messy. Oh, good. As he barely takes it. Coming out on top with 1 tank and 1 Viking. Jesus. Messy fight there from ByuN, but I mean, he does win it. Barely. From here, we're calming down, we're building up. Both players are getting up to 3 bases. Both players are getting fully saturated. Whew. Now we can calm down back. We can calm down. Being active, pushing to the center. Let's push through. Catching up more Vikings. Speaking of, almost all the Vikings going to be going down. Oof. Losing those Vikings. Likewise, we see ByuN pushing forward. He's up in tanks, he's up in army. And he's breaking through. He does break through that siege line. Well, is here for Percival, and this might just snowball into a win here. It might snowball into the third. As ByuN is still pushing forward, leapfrogging those tanks. Gaining more ground. Voids are being pulled. And Percival getting desperate. And the Vikings, they will land to punish this. They will just annihilate that mineral line. SCVs, they all go down. And I was hoping for a back and forth. I was hoping for a game 4, a game 5. And we had to have some intense moments here for sure, and even better moments for Percival at times, but alas. Yeah, he will claim it. Gets behind the mineral line. $19 SCV kills. He's going to try to break through the siege line here once again. He rushes forward. And that's going to be the final stand for Percival. GG gets called. ByuN, he will take the series 3-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. A solid result here out of ByuN. Percival, who's trying to hold his own. And again, a shout out to Percival for, of course, making it to the semifinals, for bringing down Vindicta earlier as well. He had a really impressive showing. And even here against ByuN, we have seen them go and trade back and forth quite often. But here, ByuN does take it, does claim it. And now we have our grand finals. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys missed out on the bracket. But if you guys want to catch up, we did mention this earlier, but Shameless took down herO 3-0 in a PvP best of 5. Impressive performance there, impressive showing by Shameless. It was a very short series, very short best of 5. It was over in like 15 minutes. So really fast games, really short matches. We expect either all-ins or failed all-ins in all 3 games. In all 3 games in that series. In my mind, that would make the most sense. And again, congratulations to Shameless for causing that big upset, and does advance on the face-off against ByuN in the next round. against Sheamus, he was kind of like, in my mind, the rising star of 2024. Sheamus was looking very, very good, and he was rising through the ranks. Despite that, and every now and then he does pop off with these big wins. I want to say he beat Cure recently as well. I say recently. When I say recently, I mean like this year. Like Sheamus, he has had some really good performances over the past 2 years, and he's only been improving. By no means will I ever say that he's favored against, you know, herO, or favored against ByuN, or favored against these players. I say that apparently Sheamus. Oh my god. Speaking of, I was asleep at this time, but last night was the Wardy TV European League, and fun fact, this is a rematch. This is a rematch. For those of you that were not watching Wardy's stream last night, Sheamus, he already beat ByuN. He beat him last night. He beat him 2-0. Calm down, Sheamus, calm down. So Sheamus, he already 2-0'd ByuN previously last night, less than 24 hours ago, actually. 10 hours ago. 10 hours ago, Sheamus 2-0'd ByuN. Can he do it again? Can he beat him again? Can ByuN get his revenge? Let's go. Let us go. But yes, that was 10 hours ago. So we'll see if ByuN can get his revenge. We'll see if Sheamus can pull off a repeat and claim that win for a second time. For now, we're going to be going on a break. And when we come back, we'll have that rematch. We'll have Sheamus and ByuN facing off in the finals. See you soon. See you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of the PiGosaur Cup number 42. Ooh, we are back. We have returned. We have returned here with the final series of the broadcast. Let's go. Let's go. We have not the expected match. I mean, we expected a TVP, sure, 100% from the beginning of this tournament, but not the one that we got. We expected ByuN versus herO, but no, instead we have ByuN versus Sheamus in the grand finals. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy, as his teammate was just brought down. It is Sheamus. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our TVP against Shameless, who was able to bring down herO 3-0 in a very fast PvP matchup, in a very fast series. And as I mentioned before, Shameless, 10 hours ago, he played against ByuN and he 2-0'd him. He 2-0'd him in the Wardy TV European League. So Shameless, less than 24 hours ago, again 10 hours ago, he already did bring ByuN down. We'll see if we can do it again. We'll see if ByuN can get his revenge. Again, I didn't get to see those matches. 10 hours ago, I was asleep. I was in bed, Pat. Yeah, I was fast asleep, of course, as it was very, very late in the evening in Australia for the Wardy TV European League. So I was in bed. So I didn't get to see those matches. I don't know what occurred in that series. I don't know how ByuN, or I mean, we can assume how ByuN played. ByuN, he's very standard in how he plays. I say that double gas. Ooh, double gas open out of ByuN. Now, ByuN is known for his mid game in TVP. He is known for his mid game. He's known for these economic builds and more aggression in the mid game instead. But this goes against that. Double gas opener, faster factory. We're on Pylon. Pylon is known for all-ins. Pylon is known to favor aggression because the rush distance by ground is short, the third bases are more accessible, the rush distance is more direct as well, so we do see and we do favor all-ins and aggressive builds. We'll see if ByuN goes for that. We'll see if Shameless goes for that as well. We've been seeing a lot of charge openers on this map. I'm referring to Twilight Council, into Charge, into Storm, staying on 2 bases, getting up to like 6 gateways and 2 bases as well. It's going into a delayed third expansion. We'll see if Shameless is one to embrace that as well, or if he goes for a standard build, if he goes into Blink Stalker instead. As we have our 1-1-1 out of ByuN. There we go. As we have double Reaper into the main. Let's get it. Gets one. Gets one probe so far. Nice pick up here by ByuN. It's one worker. As Reapers, they do head down to low ground. Likewise, Hellion does bust in, and ByuN going for hyper aggression gets a second probe. 2 probes, not bad. 2 probes back into the main. That is not a full wall off. And he's going for a third probe. This is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. This army is going to be cleaned up with 3 workers. Not a bad start. Getting a 4th probe even as well. And there it is. We called it at the start. Charge. Again, this has been very trendy. It's been very meta as of late. Going for charge on smaller maps. Basically, this is a hyper safe way to play. herO pioneered this a couple of months ago in GSL Season 1. If you watched herO against Cure, this was in the peak of the 2-base all-in meta of TVP. herO, he was going for a lot of charge all-in, specifically against Cure in that best of 7. And since then, it's kind of been the go-to kind of like hyper safe opener if you're expecting your opponent to be aggressive. And we're expecting aggression out of ByuN, at least here on Pylon. There's a bit of a give and take. Because we're opening Charge and not Blink, it means that there's no map control for Shameless. He has no map control. He has no way to chase down medevacs, to contain ByuN, to poke into the bases, to threaten Blinks into the bases as well. That's not available to him. Instead, this is designed to shut down a frontal push, like a head-on fight, a head-on engagement, a head-on tank push specifically from ByuN. And speaking of, he is making tanks. He's getting into Tank Banshee. First shot is deflected. Shameless does hold. And ByuN is not fully aware as to what's going on. And again, we should be staying on 2 bases a little bit longer. Yep, there we go. So 2-base Charge into 2-base Storm. So Temple Archives on the way. Heavily delayed third. And again, we're delaying the third here because it's less about being greedy and economic. It's more about being safe and surviving whatever the hell's coming his way. So we have our 3-1-1 setup. We've built up towards a second tank so far. Banshee's moving out. How many Banshees so far? 1. 1 Banshee, no cloak. There are Stalkers in position. Storm has begun. Now Shameless, of course, takes his third. But again, a delayed third base. Third after Charge, after Storm. Or after Temple Archives. Let's see, Banshee does dip into the main. Stalkers are in position. 1 probe goes down. Late reaction by Shameless. Late reaction out of Shameless. Say 1, getting up to 3 probe kills. Oof. 3 workers falling. The other concerning thing is you can see here we have 2 observers back at home. Shameless, okay, he does have thankfully 1 observer across the map. He needs to get eyes on the move out. As ByuN so far is just going for drop play. Oh, he wants that observer. Yeah, he does want it, does find it. Observer goes down. Nice pick up here by ByuN. Nice pick up. ByuN does fan out. Going for his own drop. ByuN is moving in. Going for his drop into the main. Does go for his drop. Storm is ready. How quickly to react? As Marines, they get into the middle line. Oh, there's a Storm. He gets 1, 2, 3 probes already going to be going down. 3 probe kills. For a full medevac drop, I would say this is a better trade for Shameless. Shameless, he defends well. Well enough. Likewise, he's here at his own 3rd. ByuN just now taking his own 3rd CC, getting his own expansion. Ghost Academy's on the way. And we're building up. We're building up into the mid-game. Shameless, he does break out. Now, I don't think Shameless has to move in. If you look at this position, we have a bunker, we have a tank, we have a minefield here set up as well. Shameless, he checks for the 3rd, which means he's out of position to defend against the double drop. And again, Shameless, he does not have to try to break this position on 2 bases. Like, let ByuN expand, let him move out, let him expose himself, and then the Protoss can move in. So a good call here by Shameless. Oh, pulls away.
Game paused.
And we do have a bit of a pause. Thankfully, this is a pause when there's no major fight happening, right? Both armies back off, both players are expanding, so we're in a bit of a lull here, and hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully everything is okay. As again, we're about to kind of reach a turning point here. Now, ByuN is expanding, and he's about to be scattered, right? There's an observer over the 3rd, and Shameless will spot the expansion. This will prompt Shameless to move in with the army, and to try to catch ByuN out as he spreads himself thin, right? Right now, ByuN is heavily fortified on 2 bases, but when you expand like this, you're going to spread yourself between your bases. That's going to make it easier here for Shameless to push in, to engage. Now, as he moves in, then it's going to be up to ByuN to potentially counterattack. He's got his double drop ready. So ByuN is waiting for Shameless to show his hand. ByuN doesn't know where the army is, but if this army reveals itself at the 3rd, then ByuN knows he can move in. Oh, was Shameless. I think he got a glimpse of the CC. Here we go, Prism into the main. Shameless, did he scout that command center? Here comes ByuN moving in. Does go for the middle run. Do we force a recall? There it is. There's a recall back home. Does recall. That was the bay going down to delay Colossus production. Shameless, does he notice? He has to rebuild that robotics bay. And likewise, this drop is keeping Shameless busy. Now, ByuN, he will lose a medevac, true. He will lose this army, but he expands. Remember, if it wasn't for that double drop, Shameless would be pushing. He would be pushing, and remember, we had a Prism ready for the main, and his main army was pushing in towards that natural as well. Shameless, who was about to pull the trigger, but now he's forced back home. There's the bait. So late bait here out of Shameless. But he is forced back. ByuN back at home. He establishes his 3rd base. This is a big moment here for ByuN. He has a 3rd, the observer does confirm. And Shameless is rotating. He's rotating over towards the 3rd base. Now, is Shameless too late? Is he too late to break this position now? I mean, now we have the minefield. The minefield has set up. We have the sensor tower. We have the tanks as well. ByuN, he's pretty well set up here. It's not going to be easy to push in, but that's why we're heavily reliant on what? On the Prism. Yeah, Prism does unload. The Prism going for the Warpin into the main. Oh, does barely get out of vision, out of range. And the Warpin will complete. At the same time, Shameless, he tries to push up the ramp. But he fails to. Yeah, brutal tank shots. He cannot push up that ramp. It's not going to happen. And ByuN holds. ByuN holds. ByuN does defend. And Shameless, he can no longer break this 3-base setup. Shameless, he has to expand. He has to expand, has to back off, has to rebuild, has to max out. So ByuN, he survived. He survived that kind of like big pivotal moment here, which was taking his third. The next moment is ByuN taking a fourth. There it is. Fourth CC is on the way. ByuN is about to max out. He's moving in. Shameless, is he paying attention? Where are the storms? Ooh, EMPs are brutal. There's a couple of storms left. Again, Shameless needs those storms. Now coming in. Just grazing the army. No major connections. No, we got the flanking storms. Let's go. Ooh, it does land. It does connect. Another storm as well. Yeah, ByuN getting caught out. Does take some massive storms to the face. Colossus has arrived. No Vikings. True. No Vikings to deal with that Colossus. Mind shot takes down 2 sentries. Nice mind shots. Nice connection. Here come the storms. Again, I think there's 1 storm left with the main army. The ghosts are exposed. That's a lot of ghosts going down. There's the final storm. And I'm afraid to look, that was how many? That was 6. 6 ghosts falling. Ghost Cat almost completely reset. Shameless, solid fight. Solid fight here at a Shameless. Remember, ByuN, he has no Vikings. He's just now beginning Viking production. Second starport's on the way. Colossus traded very well. Shameless moving in. Nope. He goes up. Not on the High Templar. Run by into the third. Nicely timed. SCV's going to be going down, distracting ByuN. Wasting some shots here on some depots. Colossus, we got to move in. Yeah, and Shameless is going for the kill. He's going for the kill. He's going for the throw, catching out reinforcements. Does make on in, takes out the Vikings. Oh, Storm's going to be popping up. And Shameless with good storms, he should be okay, but the EMPs are brutal. Yeah, brutal EMPs. Colossus, they rain down on the ByuN army. Marauder stims in. Gets 1 Colossus, gets 1, and gets 2. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there from Shameless. Losing all 3 Colossus, but GG gets called. He still overwhelms, and Shameless takes game number 1. Whew, GG. Shameless, he does take a lead in the series. Again, a very nice engage there from Shameless. ByuN, he was caught out. Basically, when ByuN pushed out into the open, out into the center, he bled out 6 ghosts. He lost every single ghost. He had no more EMPs remaining. Likewise, he was late to switch into Viking production. He saw the Bay. He cancelled the Bay, but he was late to get a second starport and to build up those Vikings. So the Colossus, they reigned supreme. The Colossus were just so valuable there for Shameless, getting so many free shots off before the Viking count was ever really substantial. GG. GG well played. Shameless takes the lead, and now we're getting the game number 2. Let's go. Here we go. Again, a very intense game 1, but a lot of the intensity of game 1 came from the map, right? A lot of it came from Pylon. Pylon is a smaller map and aggression is favored. You saw how little time it takes to move from one end of the map to the other. Now we're loading into a much larger map of the map pool. We're loading into Tokamak, so a much larger map. Tokamak is known for longer games, later games, more defensive play as well. We might actually get into that late game with 2 maxed out armies and cut the map in half. It's possible. We might get there here as we load into Tokamak. Here we go. As our players are getting ready. Max is Shameless's Danish account. I think that's the better response. That's the... Yo, Max ain't got nothing on Shameless, back. Yeah. He's Shameless. True. Is Shameless. There we go. But our players, they do need moments. They do need a moment here to settle in. And we'll see how ByuN will change his approach coming to Tokamak. I will say that, remember, ByuN went for a very aggressive build in Game 1. Here we could go for something more economic instead, go for a faster CC. If you remember, if you were here yesterday, you'll know that ByuN, he's quite fond of, I say quite fond of, a build that he did a specific, a greedier version that he showcased during EWC, which he showcased during Sparkling Tuna Cup as well, is going third CC before Rax, before Factory. After the first Rax, I should say, on location as well. On a map like Tokamak, you can get away with that sort of thing. I'm thinking of Tokamak, I'm thinking of Leylines, I'm thinking of maybe Maganatha. I'm a little bit less confident about Maganatha, but you can cut corners, and we have seen ByuN be hyper greedy in some of these games, in this matchup. So we'll see if he does whip that out here on Tokamak. Let's go. Let us go. Getting into our next game. Sim bem Gwen tá, true. Gwen save. True. He's shameless. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tokamak, we have the blue Terran player. We have the South Green Terran down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. Representing Shopify Rebellion, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. We go, and ByuN opens up with a proxy. Okay, I was assuming that ByuN would be more economic and more greedy this game, but no, the answer is he's going for the proxy instead. So proxy right outside of the main at the third location. Shameless is going for a probe scout across the map. He is not checking the proxy location. Now with this probe scout, he will confirm that the Rax is missing, so he will have some information to work with. The problem, of course, with TVP is it is not uncommon for the Terran player to hide their Rax further back in their main, at their natural location, or at their third location for a fake proxy Rax instead. So it's going to be up to Shameless to confirm, and he may have to make an early Zealot to defend against this. Shameless does dip in. Meanwhile, the proxy Reaper. Now, as a reminder, this is not an all-in out of ByuN. It's only one proxy, only one SCV, only one Rax. So this is to get damage done early on. This is to get an early lead. To get an early lead. To get 2, maybe 3 probe kills, which would be insane. As Reaper is going to be rallied into the main. There's right in. Does it into the middle line. So far, we have to pull away the weakened workers, and one probe does not go down. Oh, he wants it. Oh, he gets surrounded. Oh my god, that should not have happened. He gets surrounded. He doesn't get any, right? He doesn't get a single probe. And Shameless defends. Shameless, he does hold, he does defend. We were assuming that ByuN will get 1, maybe 2 probe kills. He gets 0 worker kills. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the surround should not have happened. It should not have gone down. And with that, Shameless looking good. Now there's a second Reaper there. Now here comes second Reaper. There we go. Finally, he will get 1 probe kill. 1 probe goes down. He gets something for his troubles. Oh. Anyway, here comes the interception. ByuN, he gets cornered, and he will lose both Reapers. 2 Reapers for 1 probe. That is not worth it. Oh, God. So, a shaky start here for ByuN. He needs to achieve so much more with that, as he didn't even keep the Reapers alive. Like, that would have been something at least to keep them alive, but no, he lost both. And Shameless, looking good. Yes, looking solid. Hey. So Shameless takes the lead. He does take a lead early on. ByuN back at home is going to his own 2-1-1 setup. Eventually 3-1-1. And ByuN is not stopping with the aggression. Do you see what I see? Medevac. He's going for the Medevac follow-up. He's going for the drop. He's going for the Cyclone drop. ByuN knows he's behind. He knows that he needs to get some damage done across the map. So he's going for the Cyclone, going for the drop. Meanwhile, we do see a Blink-based opener this time at a Shameless. This makes more sense. As a reminder, remember what the prerequisite was for opening up with a Charge last game was how small the map was, and how aggression is often seen on maps like Pylon, on maps like Ultra Love. Those are the two maps where I feel like going blind Charge works quite well. Here on larger maps, going into Blink makes more sense to keep up, to gain map control, to contain your opponent, and to shut down drop play. You know, here comes Cyclone dropping to the mineral and gets one probe. He gets one, he gets two. Oh, just the one for now. Just the one probe kill. And now Shameless is on notice. Now he's on notice. Now he is alert. Ooh, as the medevac takes a lot of hits and thankfully gets away. It would have been disastrous if it had gone down. Thankfully, it does boost out. Thankfully, ByuN does race back home. Thankfully. And so here we go. Shameless moving out. How many? I believe 3K. Yeah, he has 3K blink. There is one tank, sorry, 2 tanks back at him to defend. 3 tanks now. ByuN is secure. ByuN should be fine. Now, you could argue that Shameless could actually find a way into the main, blink in, and then skirt around the edge, and then head behind the mineral line. There is an opening available. As the tanks are set, he does blink in. Yeah, blinks in. Yep, does skirt around the edge. Can he even get within range of Stim? No, Stim! Stim is going to go down. Massive pickup. Heavy delay here on Stim. He gets a depot as well. And the tanks are exposed. There's only 3 Marines. Only 3 Marines here. Shameless doesn't get... He could go for the dive, but he doesn't go for it. He does back off. Recalls back home. But that was worth it. That was well worth it for Shameless. Sniping Stim was brutal. And that means that ByuN, he can't move out. 3rd TC. Yeah, it makes sense. 3rd TC for ByuN. He has to expand. He cannot push. So he's got to do something. And Shameless... he's in control of this game. He's straight up in control of this game. He shut down the early game. He denied Stim. ByuN is stuck at home. Shameless looking for any free damage here. Sharking in between the bases. He's looking for an opening. He wants that tank. Yeah, he blinks in. He blinks in. The tank does go down. 1 tank for a Stalker, well worth for Shameless. Back into the mineral line. Does get an SCV. It gets 1 SCV. And again, the reason why he's free to do this, no Stim. Remember, there should be Stim by now, but without Stim, ByuN cannot keep up. He cannot keep up with the movements, with the mobility here of Shameless. So he gets a tank, he gets an SCV. Behind this, we need splash damage. What's it going to be? Not Storm, not this time. Going to Colossus. So the Bay is done. Colossus production has begun, and ByuN, he has to be active like this. He's got to do something across the map. Let's go. Nice catch. Nice. If he had Stim, like Stim would have been the world of difference there. Unfortunately, no Stim. Oh, as we missed a blink. Yeah, Shameless, he does miss a blink. He could have taken down that medevac. So does miss that chance, does miss that opportunity. Shameless cooking for sure. Like, once again, just to give context as to this kind of game state, a lot of this comes down to the shaky and failed early game of ByuN. I should actually say this even. TVP is very momentum based. It's very momentum based. In the early game, if you mess up, if you take a loss early on, it can be difficult to recover and things can snowball a little bit. So a lot of this comes back to the failed early game aggression at ByuN. I'm referring to the Cyclone drop. I'm referring to the proxy racks as well. So this is why Shameless is looking so in control so far. It is not impossible to recover from being at a deficit, but it is difficult. And Shameless did a great job at just capitalizing on that, sniping Stim, of course, catching out a tank, deterring any move out. At least ByuN escaped with the medevac, at least. But again, we'll see if ByuN can recover. Of course, he can try to outposition and try to go for a counterattack, try to hit some of these fringe bases. But in a head-on fight, you do have to favor Shameless. Do have to favor Shameless. So it does rotate. Shameless, he's going to be moving in, pushing into a concave. He should not push into this, though. Yeah, Colossus, they're stuck in the back line. Does go for the bio, and does he have enough to get one tank, but only one tank? And again, there's no reason for Shameless to push in. Shameless is on 4 bases, now getting a 5th. So he's got to be careful. He doesn't have to commit. What Shameless can do, though, checking the trades here, is that Shameless, he can trade out Zealots. So he can push in, throw away his Zealots, back off, rebuild, and keep trading. He doesn't have to go any further, as he's containing ByuN on 3 bases, and Shameless is going to calm down. Going to calm down, warp in more Zealots. Take it slow. Behind this is taking out, we have Blink DTs on the way. I wouldn't be opposed to taking into a second Robo into Disruptors or going into Storm, one or the other. As Shameless throwing down pylons, gaining and securing map control, making sure he sees any kind of drop play. I mean, you can see here 2 pylons, Observer, and a Zealot. And all that Shameless really has to do here is fight for the 4th. Fight for the 4th base of ByuN. If ByuN ever tries to expand, then Shameless can engage. Likewise, as Shameless is maxing out, as I said before, he can push into this, like just to throw away Zealots. We gotta calm down. Shameless, he is moving in. And again, does not have to push up this ramp. There's no need. There's no need to push up the ramp. Rocks are knocked down. That's a lot of Vikings. Up to 10 Vikings. Which is why I'm a little bit concerned. Where's the extra splash damage? Where are the Disruptors? Where are the Storms? With enough Vikings, like the Colossus, they should not be able to really engage. Prism goes down, no more reinforcements, and ByuN takes the 4th. And with it losing that Prism, that means he cannot reinforce his army. Yeah, big moment here for ByuN. Now that he sniped the Prism, he can expand. And again, Shameless should be fighting for this. He should be fighting, he should be containing, but he fails to do so. Without that Prism, he has to back off. So back all the way off. There we go, now getting a second, third Robo. These Robos are late. So late Robos here by Shameless. Late Disruptors. And ByuN is back in this. ByuN, he's back in this game. Shameless does have the higher base count, that is true. But, I mean, that's kind of how the dynamic goes here of TVP. The big moment here is that ByuN establishes his 4th, which means he can max out. He can max out, he can start accumulating a bank as well. And that lead that Shameless had earlier, it's not as great as it once was. Not anymore. So the pressure's on Shameless here to try to gain it back. Again, just a really rough moment there for Shameless. And we'll see if we can take a better fight. Now, in a head-on engagement, now that we have more Disruptors, how many? 3, soon to be 5. With 5 Disruptors, Shameless, he can out-trade his opponent, he can take a better fight. But again, ByuN isn't pushing. ByuN is staying at home. He's staying very defensive here as he slowly gets another wave of CCs. We have 4 CCs on the way. The next big moment for ByuN is getting a 5th base, and again, Shameless should not allow ByuN to expand. Right now, it is on Shameless to make sure that doesn't happen. He already failed to deny the 4th. As here comes a 5th. Fifth base is floating over. Like, sure, Shameless has a bank. That means nothing if ByuN can expand. Oh. ByuN out of position. Shameless getting on top of the ramp. Here comes up for Nova. Nova doesn't connect. Vikings able to back to Colossus. And while Shameless is distracted here on the left-hand side, ByuN expands. Yeah, ByuN, he's expanding. Shameless, again, he needs to either push in or needs to rotate, but the rotation will take so long. As the scan does reveal the rotation, so ByuN sees this. Shameless pushing in between the bases. He has to be careful not to be surrounded. True. Yeah, ByuN coming in from both angles, coming in from both sides. Nova's going up. Nice splits there out of ByuN. Better connection towards the end. One Colossus goes down. And Shamelessly bleeds out a lot of units here. Oh, the Novas are connecting though. Nova's a zone back. Meanwhile, where are the reinforcements? Where's the prism? There is no prism with this. Does warp in more zealots, but ByuN, he's establishing that fifth base. And as we mentioned, like Shameless, he can't just let this get up and running. At this point, Shameless needs to trade. Like, he needs to fight. Like, I mean, I know that I've been saying that for quite some time here, but Shameless, he has a 5k mineral bank. And what that means is that he can't afford to be inefficient. He can afford to fight poorly, but fight enough to deny a base. And then just keep warping in, keep reinforcing, and keep trading like that, and do it well enough to contain ByuN on 4 bases. But Shameless is playing so scared. He's playing so scared here, which means this bank doesn't mean anything. He has 7,000 minerals, but he's not doing anything with it. He needs to throw these zealots away, and keep throwing them away. And Disruptor goes down. We go nukes across the map. ByuN, he gets his 5th base, and ByuN, he has momentum. He has momentum. Very much so. At this point, I'd say ByuN has a lead. GTs, they attempt to harass. And I'll say that Shameless is having a really hard time actually maneuvering here in the late game. His probes are going down. Bleeding out a lot of stalkers, expensive losses there for Shameless. Remember, Shameless does not have a gas bank. Like, losing those stalkers is brutal. At this point, Shameless, he does need the gases. Like, he needs to take extra gases, needs to saturate as he is undersaturated here. Maybe Nerves getting to Shameless at this point, as he is the more inexperienced player. Now, Shameless, he can still win a fight, but he has a lot riding on that fight. As he rotates over. Doesn't really get much done. He bleeds out a lot of stalkers. Yeah, better trade here for ByuN. Shameless, he's on 17 gateways. That's good enough. So he has the production for it. Now we're going for Zealot run-bys. We needed this earlier. We needed this much earlier. So I'll take a shutdown. He only gets 1 tank. But yeah, he's got 8,000 minerals in the bank. Like, we can, like, again, we can keep warping in more zealots. Keep going. Whatever you can get. But again, we needed this like 5 minutes ago. 7 minutes ago. Gold armor coming in, but he runs into the army. I mean, these are planetaries. That's the problem here with allowing ByuN to get the 5th base. Like, these planetaries are so secure, and now ByuN's into Mass Liberator. So ByuN, he's outscaling Shameless. And Shameless just can't really do much here. Nice Nova. But he's just being bullied back. He's just being bullied back. Once the Liberator count gets high enough, that's when you need Skytoss. You will need Skytoss once you get into Critical Mass Liberators, to get into Tempest production. Zealots, yeah, overrunning. Does catch all the ghosts. Again, the power of the Zealot. Does catch all the ghosts, but again, the anti-air is limited, going into Mass Stalker. And ByuN is spread thin. He's got a good chunk of army on the right-hand side, so he's exposed. You're getting 1, 2, 3, 4 Liberators. Better fight here for Shameless. Ooh, no recall. Yeah, there's no recall. EMP on the Nexus. And Shameless, we got to trade a base for a base. Next eye falling. That's 27 probe kills. Now, if Shameless can actually push in between the bases and go for the production, then maybe. For now, going for the fringe bases instead. Running into more Liberate. Jesus. There's so much freedom. Yeah, so much freedom. ByuN perfectly fine. Splits against the Novas. Rallies in the Liberators. As he has to siege up. And there we go. Liberators do reposition. And with that, ByuN, he takes the fight. Forces out Shameless, picking up more Immortals, more Disruptors. We're getting a little bit messy here. Tempest production has begun. Now, we're getting into really awkward game stage. Shameless, he's burning through a lot of his bank. Like, the bank, he's burned through so much of it, trying to keep up with this. He's now switching into Tempest production. He's at least keeping ByuN busy. But one wrong move and ByuN, he'll break out and take down more bases. ByuN, he does drag the army within range of the Liberators. ByuN takes the fight. Shameless's economy is lackluster. He has a lot of bases, but he has no saturation. Like, the saturation here is very lackluster here for Shameless. So he has to you can see here he's making 7 probes at a time. And again, for the past like 12 minutes, like, ByuN has been in control of this game. It's been in control. Shameless pushing him between the bases. Again, doing what he can. That's still going to be 20 probe kills going down, 22 even. Yeah, Shameless, he's being pulled apart. His economy is crippled. He will lose his army. That's 3 disruptors going down. Every disruptor even. And ByuN, at this point, he has done it. Nice Nova. Very nice Nova. Okay. Oh, God. I was going to say, if we can land a couple of Novas like that, then sure. Then Shameless is going to be okay. But Shameless, he's broke. At this point, Shameless, he's broke. He has to rebuild his probes. He no longer has a bank to work with. Does 9 mining here. Picks up a Liberator, making use of the Tempest, making use of the terrain. Oof. This one Shameless almost goes down. And ByuN now he's going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throats. There's nothing to stop these Vikings. There's nothing to stop him. He's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to get every single Tempest. The Zealots, they do trade well. The Nova doesn't quite connect. And down goes the Sky Toss. There's 1 Tempest remaining. Okay. 1 Tempest left over. So ByuN preserves his ground army. Takes down the base on the left-hand side. Took down all these bases as well. So bases are falling left and right. At this point, it's almost purely a gateway composition. It's purely just a Stalker Zealot army. And it just does not scale well into a longer game like this. Novas have been connecting, though, every now and then. Like we get a good Nova. The splits are not there for ByuN. He's been taking the Novas to the face. But it doesn't matter. He can afford it. ByuN, he likes it. He likes it. The Nexus is going to go down. ByuN coming in from behind. Does run into the Zealots and should be kiting, so a little bit of inattentiveness there from ByuN. But regardless, he just trades well anyway. Yeah, he breaks through anyway. Regardless, he takes down all the Zealots. Does push through. And that was the final main army here of Shameless, the final stand. He's forced to recall. Shameless almost has nothing left. Again, Shameless, he started things off in a really good position. I will say that Shameless, he had the better early game. He had the better mid game as well. Shameless, he was in a commanding position early on. He had a lead, but he lost that lead. Did lose it. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take game number 2. We're tied up 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We have a back and forth, and again, Shameless, he had such a strong start as well. Like, the early game worked, you almost can't ask for a better early to mid game from Shameless. Sniping Stim, shutting down the early game, gaining map control, taking all those bases as well, sniping the first tanks, denying the drops, containing your opponent. But we did try to emphasize the importance of fighting for the 4th and fighting for the 5th base. I see some people saying in the chat, talking about like taking bad fights or needing tech switch sooner. A lot of this came down to not being able to stop ByuN. ByuN, he was able to freely get a 4th. Remember, Shameless didn't fight for it. He did not fight for the 4th base. He was out of position. And likewise, Shameless, he failed to fight for the 5th base as well. For ByuN, for a Terran player to freely expand in such a way, to freely get a 4th and 5th base, that is almost unacceptable. Like, you can't let that happen. Otherwise, the Terran just gets out of hand. They just get out of control. Snowball out of control. Yeah. And we saw ByuN just comfortably get into his 4 bases, get into his 5 bases. Again, ByuN, he wasn't being active, he wasn't being aggressive on the map, he was just being very defensive. Now, on the other hand, I will also emphasize that Tokamak is the best map for that. Is the best, we talk about this all the time, it is the most defensive map in the map pool. More defensive than Magnatha, more defensive than Leylines. Tokamak is the easiest map to turtle up on 4 and 5 bases, so the map was helping ByuN, for sure. The map was helping him, the map was working against Shameless, but Shameless had to adapt to that, right? It's like, hey, if your opponent is going to be able to freely expand, then Shameless needs to be greedier, needs to take more gases, and needs to take up faster as well. Like, there are other ways to approach that, but yeah, Shameless, it did feel like he was kind of stumbling his way in the late game, and it was not pretty. But here we go, we're getting into game number 3, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. and spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the third Protoss player himself, representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And welcome to Torches, and this is where I do favor Shameless now. So winding it back, we're loading into one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool, a much smaller map as well. This map is not known for long and late game, not at all. It's known for shenanigans, known for all-ins, known for cheese, known for aggression. Welcome to Torches, one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool, but in the best of 5, it gets through. It makes it through the veto process. Again, we have these gold patches here outside of the natural. We have the gold bases in the center, gold bases on the left. We have the healing pad on the left-hand side as well. We have no Reaper Cliff coming into the main base, which makes it more difficult for the Terran player to scout. Likewise, short rush distance by air. It is very popular to go double gas into a factory, into fast tech lab, into add-on swap, into fast Banshee play. Banshees are very popular on this map. We have seen a shift in the meta where, because Banshees was so trendy for a time, Protoss players were blindly opening up Stargate into Phoenixes to hard counter Banshees and to hard counter that kind of style. So then we had Terran players stop going Banshees and start going into more standard play. So we've had like a bit of a back and forth when it comes to the meta on Torches. So we'll see how we open them. Shall see. And again, shout out to ByuN. ByuN looking very comfortable in the late game on Tokamak, which again, as we mentioned, is what he's known for. He's known for the mid game, known for the late game, known for being more later game focused. But that all goes out the window on Torches. Oh, and there it is, Stargate. We just brought it up. We just spoke about how in the meta, because Banshee play was so common on Torches, we saw the rise in popularity of Stargate openers on this map as well. Stargate openers are rare. They're a rare sight in standard TVP, but specifically on Torches, we see Stargate play more often than not. And a big reason for that is that rush distance by air. So short rush distance by air. Meanwhile, Tech Lab is on the way. There's that starport. We'll see what ByuN gets into. If ByuN blindly goes Cloak Banshee, then Shameless can shut him down. Ooh, as ByuN gets in. Yeah, that should not have happened. ByuN, he gets into the mineral line, gets one, gets 2 probes. Now going for the main, and ByuN, he's going to get a full scout as well. Or does he? He should. Yeah, he should be able to. Gets behind the mineral line. Yep, goes further in. Does confirm the tech of choice. Ay, ay, ay. And this tells ByuN to make Vikings, to make Cyclones, to make Vikings, to get ready for what's to come. They'll go Phoenix production out of Shameless, and ByuN can punish this. ByuN, he can punish. He's actually going for the medevac. Oof. Going for the medevac, which means he's going for aggression, going for an early move out. Now, the scary thing about Phoenix openers and Stargate openers, and why they are for the most part out of meta, is because against all-ins, Protoss players, they struggle. Like Phoenixes, they don't really help against 2-base all-ins. They don't really help when your opponent pulls the boys. So ByuN will have the option to commit. Shameless breaks out. Does confirm the Phoenixes, of course. And he does get a full scout. He does confirm no tech lab. No tech lab on the starport. Army coming in from behind. Phoenixes getting called out, and here comes the surround. Yeah, ByuN is hunting for the Phoenixes, and he will find them. He's gonna get one, and he might even get the other. Ooh. Second Phoenix does barely pull away. But a very nice catch here from ByuN. Already a stronger start for the Terran behind this third CC on location. So he's not going for a 2-base all-in. He's going for the third CC, dropping into the main. So we're getting to a longer game. Gets a probe. Gets a probe, gets a worker. Once again, hunting for another Phoenix. Oh god! Can he get it? Barely not. Whew. Loken is broken. Shameless does get away. And we're going Phoenix Colossus. Very old school. Very old school here for Shameless. Going Phoenix Colossus. Oh, miss rally. Thankfully does recall. Does recall in time. As we are kind of slowing things down and building up into the mid game. Building up into it. I will say that ByuN, he was quite greedy getting his third on location, and so far he's getting away with it. There's no way for Shameless to really punish the greed of ByuN. Sure, he has Phoenixes, but so far he has not gotten into a mineral line. He's been trying, don't get me wrong, he's been trying, but so far ByuN has been zoning away. From here, ByuN, he's going to benefit more from the faster third, so I mean this is still a better position for ByuN. Shameless at least will have the Colossus, and I believe ByuN hasn't scouted, so he's not fully aware. Just because it was a Phoenix opener doesn't mean it's going to be Phoenix Colossus 100%. It could be Phoenix into Charge, into Storm, like that is also a viable option. We know that there's going to be Colossus, but ByuN hasn't confirmed. ByuN, he's yet to confirm. As ByuN, he's never mind. ByuN, he's already working on additional Vikings. Second starport's on the way, so he's going into Mass Viking, which is exactly what he needs. So a solid read here from ByuN. Likewise, setting up defensively, throwing down turrets. We are getting into a longer game. And you can see the supply disparity already. You couldn't really see it like a minute ago, but over time, like this is when the base kicks in. We spoke earlier how the third base benefits ByuN more because it got up a lot faster, so ByuN has the economic lead, and because of that, now that supply lead is becoming larger and larger. And it should keep going, it should keep growing, I should say. So ByuN is in a stronger position. Meanwhile, we have disruptors on the way. Okay, so early disruptor production. Basically, Shameless goes double Colossus, then straight into disruptors. So Shameless, he will have potential with these Novas. Scan reveals them, so ByuN knows. ByuN, he knows, he is aware. ByuN scouts the fourth base, getting fully saturated. Fourth base on the way for ByuN. I don't know if ByuN should be pushing here, though. I don't really think he has the potential to get much done. I see MP. But he cannot push into 3 disruptors. Going for the drop. Observer does spot this. Yeah, Observer does confirm. Phoenix is they move in position. And they will get 1 medevac. Oh, barely not. Medevac does unload. Now, as we're building on more disruptors, I do feel like I favor Shameless in a head-on fight, just because of the just sheer amount of disruptors. When it comes to ByuN, he's working towards Liberators, but he's still a ways away. The Fusion Core is on the way, that's for Liberator range, and the starports, I believe, are just now finishing up. 2 starports. Okay, so just 2 starports. ByuN is working towards those Liberators. Until then, I do give the edge to Shameless when it comes to these head-on fights. Last game, we saw that ByuN was able to successfully defend, and he had a lot of the terrain working alongside him to defend on Tokamak. Here on Torches, he doesn't really have that. ByuN does commit, does dodge the Novas. Nova goes up, does take down one and Ghost. Meanwhile, two Immortals going to be going down, and nice pickoffs. Takes down the Immortal, denies the expansion. ByuN just bullying Shameless back. Does bully him back. Oh my god, the Novas are connecting. Yes, some brutal Novas. ByuN does take him to the face, but he will still deny the expansion. It's a kill, not a cancel. Okay, kill on the Nexus. Does target by the Disruptors. Still a very tense fight, but ByuN will overwhelm. Yeah, he overwhelms. GG gets called. He breaks through all the Disruptors. GG gets called. And ByuN, he will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Was not easy pushing into 5 Disruptors, and he did take 1 or 2 Novas to the face, but overall he was able to pick off the expansion, he was able to pick off the Immortals, he was still trading or out-trading Shameless, and again, we spoke about it, ByuN had the greater economy. Remember, ByuN, he freely got his 3rd CC up and running. ByuN, he had a boosted economy compared to Shameless, and with that, he was able to build up, he was able to out-trade, able to overwhelm. GG. GG, well played, and with that, we're now getting into game number 4, and ByuN is 1 game away from claiming the series. We'll see if Shameless can bounce back. Ooh, as we are loading into Ley Lines. Okay, Ley Lines is going to be one of the more standard maps in the map pool, but this is the map where we have seen ByuN be hyper greedy on. We'll see if he does that here as well. Meanwhile, when it comes to Shameless, again, he went for a Stargate opener. It was very lackluster. Like, the Phoenixes didn't really get much done. I would say that more or less Shameless lost map control early on, losing the first Phoenix and being forced back. Like, the Phoenixes didn't get any economic damage done either. So yeah, they didn't really achieve too much here. And sure, he was able to get into Colossus and Disruptors, but just getting into the mid game did come in from behind. And here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 4, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. Leading the series 2-1, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Team Little Fairy down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Shameless. Here we go. And for the most part, my eyes are going to be on ByuN. Is ByuN going to be greedy or not? What does ByuN go for? He does have a little bit of breathing room in this series. Like, he's up 1-0. He's up 2-1. Does have that game advantage, so he may take a chance. I would say that it's going to be on Shameless to confirm that and to punish that as well, if it were to occur. We'll see. Don't forget the stretch. Don't forget the stretch. Posture check in the chat. As for now, we're going to be settling in. It is going to be single gas. Single gas opener, so economic start out of ByuN, going racks into CC, into a factory follow-up. Not going 3 CC before factory. Okay, okay. So it does go for an economic start. Meanwhile, Shameless behind this, going to be settling into his own standard opener as well. Oh, that is Tech Lab first. Okay, so ByuN is being quite greedy here. He's going racks, expand into factory, into Tech Lab. There's no Marine, there's no Reaper. From here, we can go into early Marauder, or we can go for an earlier add-on swap. There it is, early add-on swap into early Cyclone. Okay. So Cyclone opener here out of ByuN. If there was like an early Zealot or a Proxy across the map, then ByuN would be in danger just because he'd have nothing to work with and nothing to defend. But here is looking comfortable, and Shameless does open up Stalker into Sentry. Twilight counter behind this, most likely working towards Blink. So from here we're settling in. So far, ByuN, he will be able to get away with said greed. And we'll see what is going to be done with the Tech Lab after this. For now, single Cyclone into Widowmine drop. But from here, we can go for an add-on swap into early Stim. We can keep the Tech Lab on the factory and go into early tank production. So we do have options with how we want to use this Tech Lab, how we want to use this factory. But now getting ready for the mine drop. And Shameless just playing safe. Blink is on the way, throws down a gateway. We're expecting another gateway and a robo. We're expecting a delayed third nexus, as we're already taking our gases. So 2 gases at the natural, 3 gates of Blink into the robo. So a very safe play here from Shameless. ByuN is going to be boosting in. He will distract at the natural, and he has a Widowmine waddling into the third. Shouldn't get much done. Oh, I spoke too soon. Yeah, Shameless, he was a little bit too close there. He was clumped up, 3 probes going down, and the Widowmine survives. ByuN doesn't lose anything. Ay, ay, ay. Behind this, we have confirmation, early tank production. We're keeping the Tech Lab on the factory. We built a Tech Lab on the starport, so early tank production, early Banshee. This looks like a ByuN move out. What is a ByuN push? What is a ByuN move out in TVP? He's pushing without Stim. He's going for a Slimless move out, but with 2 to 3 tanks. It's going to be a terrifying army, and it is designed to break the third base. And potentially end the game. Meanwhile, Hallucination does scouts. Shameless, he sees the army, he sees the setup, he should know. He should know what's going on, and here comes ByuN. Oh boy. And again, he wants that third expansion. At least. Oh! See, Medevac barely does get away. I spoke too soon. Blink is available. Medevac does fall. ByuN is pushing. Behind the Stim begins, getting into Stim, +1. ByuN hoping to catch out the army. But Shameless, he does engage, he does slow this down. Really important fight here for Shameless. And Shameless defends. Shameless, he has defended. Because so many Marines went down, ByuN is going to be deterred from pushing into the third. So he's stuck in the center. Oh, no, he's still going. Yeah, he's still going for it. At the same time, here comes a backstab. Shameless hits the natural. Boys are going to be pulled. Big losses here for ByuN. At the same time, he's moving in. And now the third base is not good enough. Now it's not good enough because SCVs are falling. Oh, never mind. Does recall back home. Shameless goes to the recall. ByuN defends, and ByuN, he will deny the third. Third base is going to be denied. I say that, he blinks. He dives in on top of the tanks. Crazy move here by Shameless. He gets 1, he gets 2. He's going to lose all the Stalkers. Oh, this is not worth it. He does get the final tank, but he will lose the army, and he will lose the third base as well. GG gets called. That was not worth it, and ByuN, he will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's PiGosaur Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. I was expecting a pseudo base trade with Shameless getting SCV kills across the map, but also cancelling his third. Instead, Shameless, he chose to recall back home. He chose to try to fight for his third base. That was not the call to make, and he lost everything. Instead of just cancelling the third base, he lost the army, and he lost the third as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN does snowball into a win, but a shout out to Shameless because Shameless had a really good showing here in this series. Despite how the series ended, I do want to give credit to Shameless for taking down herO 3-0 and looking dominant in the first game and in the first half of the second game as well. Like, I was all aboard the Shameless hype train. Like, game 1 was very impressive by Shameless. He hard he almost hard countered, or he just shut ByuN down so hard on Pylon. And again, game 2 was a really strong showing and really strong start from Shameless as well, when it came to shutting down the early proxy, shutting down the early tank, denying stim and gaining map control, mass expanding. Like, everything was going well, everything was going right for Shameless, but it did look like he has maybe less experience in the late game, or he's less confident in the late game. He was very tentative. He was very, very tentative. I don't know if it was nerves, I don't know if it was I don't know if it was lack of experience, or just the fact that he was ahead against ByuN, and that can sometimes get to you as well. But again, like Shameless, he had a massive lead in game 1 and he lost it. He lost that lead slowly over time as ByuN was able to successfully just defend, turtle up, get his own 3rd, his 4th, his 5th base as well. Yeah, it was a brutal kind of like battle of attrition there that Shameless did lose in game number 2. And then of course game 3 and 4 was a little bit more dominant in favor of ByuN. But again, Shameless had a really good showing, had a really good performance here. GG, well played. GG, well played. And with that, ByuN is going to be our champion, and congratulations. Hope you all had a great time here during the PiGosaur Cup. Again, this is a weekly tournament. Every single week we feature the PiGosaur Cup, featuring players from the Americas, players from Korea, and players from Europa as well. They all come together to compete, to face off in the PiGosaur Cup. Again, we have 3 regular weeklies. We have PiGosaur Cup, which is the more NA/Korean weekly. We have WoodyTV Monday, which is more European and Korean. And we have the Sparkling Tuna Cup, which is also more Korean and European as well, just on a different day. Tuna Cup is on Sunday, WoodyTV Monday is on Monday, and we have PiGosaur Cup, which is on Wednesday. And sometimes there's the Monday Night Weekly. Sometimes it's a little bit less regular. It's a little bit more regular, but every now and then there's a Monday Night Weekly as well, which is just a more European-centric tournament. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Hope you'll enjoy yourselves. Again, we had an intense back and forth, an intense tournament. And when it comes to the rest of our schedule here, bam, you have it before you. Now we're here on Wednesday. So last night we were live with Sparkling Tuna Cup. This morning we were just live with the PiGosaur Cup, and tonight at 9:30 p.m. KST, that is going to be 10:30 p.m. AEST. That is going to be in around 9 hours. In 9 hours time, we're going to be live with the OC King of the Hill. That is a King of the Hill best of 1 style tournament where the winner stays on, the loser is eliminated in a best of 1 style format. We have 15 best of 1s back to back to back to back. It's a lot of fun. It's a unique format. It is a lot of fun, and players like ByuN are regulars. ByuN, Shameless, Jumy, a lot of these guys, MaxPack, Spirit, do show up for the King of the Hill, Percival as well, and many others. So do check it out. That's going to be in 9 hours. Tomorrow we're going to be live with the podcast. After that, we have the Sunny Lake Cup as well. That's going to be Thursday evening, Friday morning. We have the weekend is going to be busy. We have KSL, we have the K Cup, we have STC, we have SDO. We have a lot of StarCraft over the week, and we'll do our best to bring everything to you here and now on the CranKy Ducklings. If you see something that you like here, and if you cannot watch it live, then check out the VODs. Check out our YouTube channel, !socials in the chat, to have a look at our YouTube. Again, we do upload on a daily basis over on YouTube, so we have plenty of content there. Otherwise, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. It is 2 p.m. It's almost 2 p.m. here in Australia, and I am starving, so I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna go get some food, and I'm probably gonna edit some VODs. I probably have to edit some VODs and get ready for tonight. I might get some sleep. It's really cold today. It's really cold, and I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, or at least my throat is feeling a little bit sore. So I'll try to take care of myself, warm up, wrap myself up in a robe or something, and yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back later on tonight for OSC King of the Hill. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and yeah, we'll see you later on tonight or tomorrow or whenever we see you. Again, we're live on a daily basis, so I'm sure we'll see you at some point throughout the week. Hope you have a great time. Enjoy yourselves. Take care. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.